this is basically really to raise your game. And raise your game is what I mean by that is because most of your training, a lot, or very often, you're not just doing it once a month or whatever you're training, once a week at least, or twice or three or more, which is good. Which means if you want to get better, then you have to work on elements of your whole game. And there's a lot to that. Obviously, if you take the whole fight, and we look at them in parts because it's too much to do the whole at one time. So in big parts, you can think of it as there's grappling, and there's striking, and then there's transitions between the two, which is its own thing, and most people don't really know about that. But that's really a good secret of how to beat someone is in the transitions. But, for example, I grapple, and I strike. John strikes and he grapples. However, John's better at grappling than I am, and I'm better at striking than he is. And so that's why I'm concentrating on striking, because this is what I've done most of my life is the striking. That's what I'm doing now again. And I've been a lot of places in the world, and I've trained with the best guys in the world at it. And I've seen a lot of things that people think in the United States are good, but they're not. That they're crap. And there's a lot that can be learned from this that will apply to actual fighting. But part of this, it's sport-oriented, really, some of it. But you can get better because you can practice it with another person. Whereas some of the things we're doing, like in the Viking stuff, you can't practice with each other, although I know Ken and Mark try, because I know those two. But, so, poof, poof, but, or my guy in Hong Kong, Reggie, I told you guys about him last time in July or whatever, and Alex wanted me to tell people, not everybody knows, Reggie has a driver, and the poor guy is like Clouseau. He's basically paid
He's like Cato.
Yeah, Cato. Yeah, Clouseau and Cato.
Clouseau.
Yeah.
The driver's Cato.
Yeah, exactly. And the driver just, gets the crap beat out of him all the time. He's like, attack me with a knife. You know what I mean? He'll do stuff, I'm like, I feel sorry for the guy. And I wonder why the guy wasn't happy to see me. When I showed up, you know what I mean? The driver. Yeah, because the driver would bring me from the hotel to their place, and the guy was always grimacing when he would pick me up. And I didn't know originally, I was trying to talk to the guy and stuff, and he's, okay, yeah, he's just, real short with me, and then I found out later, because anything I was teaching Reggie, after I would leave, he would beat up the driver. It's like, go ahead and attack me with a club, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And you guys know the stuff like the arrow, immediately. Reggie doesn't really like the arrow, he doesn't have it down, but, the battle axe and stuff like that, it's bad, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so this stuff, it has a sporting aspect, which means that you can practice it with somebody else so you can get better. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the sporting aspect is not exactly like the reality. However, if you get really good at this, it's going to only raise yourself because your attributes will get better. And then if you talk about the long-term development of yourself to be a better fighter, better self-defense, it's going to go to your attributes. You're going to be who's faster, who's stronger, who has better perception, who can move out of the way, who knows what the attack's going to be once it starts, who can read what it's going to probably be, which is what Alex was getting to with when he was talking about Beatty and Levander having a fight in the ring after the fight. Yeah. And they attacked each other. Beatty said some stuff, Levander said some stuff back, and Beatty did a 1-2 high kick. But because he knows what's coming, basically, because he knows that's a pattern that you're going to see a lot. Levander's like, boom, boom, you know what I mean? Yeah. Stop it. Whereas a normal guy would be boom, 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 and out. Yeah. Okay, so the trick. Yeah. So the point being that you can beat people easily who don't know these things because you've got a pattern, and you need a pattern of certain. It has to be ingrained. It has to be instinct, as we're saying, instinctual, because then you got something someone else doesn't have. Because if they have to think about it, they're way behind the guy who doesn't have to think, who just boom and a boom boom and oh yeah and choo choo choo. It's nothing. It's no sweat off your brow, to use that stupid saying. But how do you get that? By drilling. And initially, as Alex was saying, think about stuff. No, I want you to concentrate on it. Concentrate while you're doing it. It's easy. Okay, one of the things that a lot of experts, a lot of guys who've been around will always say, what's the one thing you can do that will make you better? And you'll get this answer, And everybody other than expert level doesn't understand this answer. And they'll say what? Shadow boxing or shadow sparring. If you read different trainers or Dundee or whoever, not to say that Dundee was a great trainer because he was really just a motivator. There's a difference between a motivator and a trainer. You need both. And sometimes you can get a trainer who is a motivator. But Ali was going to fight the way Ali fought. And Sugar Ray Leonard was going to fight the way Sugar Ray Leonard fought. They were already developed through their own trainers in the past. So they just needed someone to motivate them and tell them, okay, do this, champ, and do the, blah blah blah, spading or blah blah blah. It's not. This wasn't like Customato. Customato had a system, and his guys were trained a long time before he let them out the fight. Floyd Patterson, Teddy Atlas, Kevin Rooney. They all do the same things. Now, Mike did it better because he had more time, and Mike was fanatical when he was younger. Mike Tyson, he wouldn't sleep. He'd be training. They go by. They have a complex numbering system, and they learned stuff that he would say a number, and that meant a pattern. And so when they would say something to him, it's like boom, boom. The guy's defeated because they've taken the boxing to a different level, as science actually. Okay, this guy's doing this and his hand's dropping, so you run this pattern at him, you're going to catch him. Instead of saying, okay, he's dropping his hand. Well, that's not very specific, but if you've been trained in the gym to do something specific against a guy who has his hand down like this, you're going to go boom, boom, inside, outside, to come up and over, and then around the shoulder, and they say 7, and then he's doing it, whap, he's out. But that has to be trained hours and hours and hours and hours. You don't get that by just moving around in the air going like this. You get that by practicing 7, you know what I mean? And that's what Mike was doing. So you have to have a purpose to everything you're doing. Every workout has to have a purpose, not I'm just working out or I want to get better. That's vague. That's very vague. What am I doing? I'm working on my hook. Or I'm working on in and out. Or I'm working on pushing other aspects. All important, there's a lot of stuff. I'm pushing my VO2 max. I'm pushing my anaerobic threshold. I'm doing this. But everything's got to have a point. Every single workout you do, you don't come in with a vague idea. Write the thing down. Have a goal. I'm getting better. It's too vague. What does that mean? You're not going to get better unless you have steps to get better, which means you have to have, each one's got to be labeled. I'm going up the staircase. And what's that? Okay, I've got to get better coordination. I've got to get better combinations. And you work on combinations. And you've got to work on, we're going to do things like that. You won't get it in a weekend. You're not going to. I'm going to cover a lot of different stuff. And I'm going to use a lot of personal examples because I've been through, I've been hurt. I've got a lot of injuries after fighting for so long. And I've recovered from most of them. Unlike John, I've recovered. I don't have systemic brain damage like he does. He's in the, later we'll give him a coloring book. But that'll keep him busy. But inside the lines, John, inside the lines. Anyway, so there's a lot to know. And you can't learn it all in a short period of time. And it's something you never perfect. That's the whole thing. You're aiming for perfection, but you're never going to get there. And you'll be naturally better at some things than other things. And you've got to you develop what you're really good at and make it great. You try to work on your lesser qualities, but that's not what's going to make you incredible. What's going to make you incredible is taking what you're good at, what works for you, and making it better and better and better. Now here's the problem with the Thais. Don't do that. They want to make everybody the same. Cookie cutter mold. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And they think everybody's 17 years old and 70 kilos or less. They do not know how to train heavy weights. They do not know how to use what you're good at. You got to do this. You got to fight this way. You got to throw 500 kicks to the body. We don't do that. Heavyweights do not do that. We don't do that. Part of that has to do with the scoring system. I'll just go on tangents here to give you an overview of a lot of things. The way that Thais fight, you fight 5 rounds, 3 minutes each. The first 2 rounds don't count for points unless you knock someone out in the first 2 rounds. That's why you see them. They'll be doing a whole lot of nothing and just looking at stuff. You see some rounds like that, and Western people are like, what the hell are they doing? They don't want to fight or what? They start judging in the 3rd round. If you do a 3rd and 4th round really, high up, and I'll tell you how the points are judged in a second. But you win the third and fourth round, they won't fight in the fifth. They'll do stuff like this to the crowd and just move away from each other. Why? Because they fight so often, they don't want to risk getting hurt. And the other guy, if he knows the other guy's ahead on points so far, then he won't fight either. And they'll just waste the 3-minute round because they fight. Nobody fights. I had a trainer fought 18 times in a month. Nobody in the West does that. People here think if you fight 3 times a year, you're doing something. Shit, I fought that many times in a week in Thailand before. It's a whole. This is why they have huge numbers of fights in a short period of time. I had more fights in Thailand in a year than I had here in 2 years. And it's because I forgot what exact population size is in Thailand, but I'm not quite right. I think it's around 16 million people. Out of 16 million people, there's 65,000 professional fighters. As opposed to 300 million in the United States, 2,000 professional fighters. There are fights every day of the week everywhere. So, and it's their national sport. Now, I will tell you how they judge, which is totally opposite of how we would judge. Okay, punches, no points for punching. None whatsoever. You knock the guy out, okay, you knock the guy out. But you rock him and he's dazed, and no points. Low kick, no points. No points for low kick. Kick to the body, if the guy blocks it, you still get a point. The guy kicking, the guy gets a point. Okay, locking up, clinching, this is where the big points come. You get this, knees are big points. If you throw the guy, if you clinch throw the guy, big points. They can win fights this way. And these guys clinch fight every day, an hour and a half or more. And you try to face these guys are better than Greco guys. Because they're used to throw. Greco guys are good with the energy, and they can convert over, I'm saying, but they're not used to also getting elbowed and kneed at the same time. And because you Greco, you twist the guy, but here you twist the guy, boom, or getting the knee. This is a whole different story, and they can feel you. I cannot try to clinch a guy 70 or 80 kilos. He can throw me. I've been thrown by guys 80 kilos. I don't have the, I can't, that's not what I'm good at, bah, whack, that's what I'm good at. I fight, okay, now I'll get in this. Every size person has a different fighting style. And now we'll get into this when I start. I think I'll wait till Mark's here tomorrow to talk about positional fighting, but I will cover that. But the point right now is everybody's size governs, your body governs how you're going to fight. You don't fit in to fighting like somebody else. You fight how your body's fight. He's going to fight differently than I'm going to fight, And you're going to fight. Everyone's going to be different because your body is going to determine what you do. If you got really short legs, you're obviously not going to be high kicking. Unless you can do cartwheels, and I've seen some guys in Japan that fought in K1 who were doing cartwheel kicks. And I was like, holy shit, that guy would nail me. Because you don't see it coming, All of a sudden he's there and he goes on one hand, whoa, whack! The heel comes over. I'm like, holy shit, I'm glad I saw that before I fight the guy, Because you'd hate to be out there in the ring all of a sudden, this guy's a midget. What do I have? You know what I mean? But at a certain level, when you get up to a high level, you got to, like I tell Alex, you've got to have surprise moves. Because your normal stuff, they've seen. They know high-level stuff. You've got to have something that just comes out of nowhere. It's weird. That's why I was saying that BD is so dangerous. Because I told you guys before in July, he's like Rubber Man. He'll tell you, too, because Lebander's 280 pounds. Lebander hits him, and he's like, yeah. Then he'll be like out. But when he comes back around, he's okay again. You know what I mean? But a BD will be, I can't do it because I've hurt myself. Trying to do static stretching. I would advise against static stretching. I was a moron. I'm trying to force myself into splits in Thailand. But don't do it, stupid, Anyway, a BD will be, he's left, but he'll be looking this. Then suddenly a BD will be like over here. Look, he'll be pop, pop, and he'll be fighting you. Then he'll be looking over at the ground like that. And a lot of guys go, what's that BD look? Wham! There comes, the leg comes from, he's over here, but also the leg just goes, what's it? Wham! And then they're like, holy whack, and and then the BD's on you, and he's fun to watch. So I called this because I have a good friend from Holland is in Thailand quite a bit. He has a Thai girlfriend. He's fighting there. I said, you know, we got to stick in the Abidi factor. I call it the Abidi factor. Meaning surprise, weird stuff that people are not used to seeing. And that works because it's, what the hell? Whack! You know what I mean? It's just something they have never seen before. Because you can't beat them with stuff. Gene LaBelle said this about all fighting. You don't beat a guy with what he knows. You beat a guy with what he doesn't know. It's much easier. You know, you got to be really good. You got to be much better with the stuff that he does know and you know. But if you just throw in something he's never seen before, there you go. You know. So I've got a few things that hopefully that work now and then. I don't. You know, I'm still trying to find a really great surprise motion move. You know, but I've got a couple like this today with the overhand. You know, the crossover overhand stuff like that. Of course, Thai. Oh, what are you doing? Yeah, you know. I don't care. You know. And, okay, this gets back to fighting at your body. Okay, heavyweights, how do we fight? Basically, we punch and we low kick. And I'm going to cover the low kick a lot. And the different ways you can low kick. There's a lot of different ways to low kick. And why MMA guys kick like they do. And especially why MMA guys cannot knee. There's a lot of faults with how they knee. Because we were down with Louis Simmons, and I said, Louis, we're watching some fights. I said, the MMA guys can't knee. I said, because they're taking 2 knees. I said, if this was a guy at heavyweight who knows how to throw a knee, the fight's over. You know, and he said, what are you talking about? So I got up and I showed, oh, you're right. You know, that's simple. You know, I actually seen that before. You know, but I didn't get it. You know, but anyway, Louis doesn't talk that high. That's my imitation of John imitating Louis. That's what that is.
He gets mad. He gets higher and higher.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He crescendos upward.
Yeah. But what's important is that you cannot be someone else. You know, I mean, and this is what's driving me insane in Thailand. This is also why they don't win Olympic medals. They had a few here and there because you got a freak, natural guy who just works in their system. Their system's traditional. They don't have a sports science. I was wearing a heart rate monitor. What's that? You know, what's heart rate? You know, they didn't even know. No, I'm serious. They did not even know what that was. You know, their answer to everything I told you guys in July is train longer and more. You know, and I told these guys in July. I said at one point, I said, well, why don't we just train 24 hours a day then, using your logic? You know, and they'll train the day before a fight. Yeah, I'm going to run a marathon before I do the marathon. It's stupidity, you know, but they don't get it. And then you're weak, you know. You can't do it. I said, put 40 kilos on your ass and let's see you run with me, you know. Let's see you. And they don't know the heat. That's the biggest thing for me. There's a huge difference for me training here where it's cold. I don't have problems training. I can go, John knows, he's seen me boom, I can go crazy. But in Asia, where it's so hot and stuff, any little thing will throw me off. If I didn't have enough sleep, if I didn't eat, I didn't do this. My electrolytes I'm constantly drinking salt water with glucose. Because my electrolytes have been screwed after my first time there. I was on the ground like this, and muscles are ripping off my body. I can't get them. You know, people, that's funny. It's not funny. You know what I mean? It's not funny at all. You know, I have no control over it. You know, I'd be walking, all of a sudden my upper pecs would just contract real hard. Ah! You know, it's painful. You're like, ah! You know, people are looking at you. Ugh, crazy farong, you know? And it's like, then this one, you get this one for you. Like, ah! You know, and like your hand contracts like this. You're walking like this, you know? You're trying to get this. It's not funny.
Singing a song.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's seriously what I'm saying. But why? Why? Because of the heat stress. And they don't even know that because bigger surface area takes more to heat and cool it. And we use up so much plasma volume. Even at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, a guy like his size as a runner, only 23% of the energy that he uses goes into his running. The rest goes into cooling him. And as you get bigger, you know, it all comes down to energy. This is something that you have to, this is something when you're in it longer and longer and longer, and you talk to everybody in any type of thing, like catch wrestling guys or whatever, they'll start talking. It's energy. You gotta watch your energy. You gotta use your energy, because everything is based on energy. It's the only thing you have is energy. Everything you're doing it starts at the metabolic level, and that's all you have. So your fuel drives you. here's the quote. The primary purpose of training is to increase our biochemical potential, to increase the rate at which we metabolize fuel and the duration at which we can maintain that rate. Meaning, it's called METs. You drive your metabolic rate. How high can you drive your metabolic rate and how long can you sustain it? That's it. That's the whole point. And pushing back the anaerobic threshold. So you're working more in aerobic. So you save that busting into the glycogen thing. Okay, now, everything is energy, and I'm gonna give you a clear definition of what happens with guys when they get in the ring, when you're fighting a fight. That's not just happen, you know. That's something you're building up. You got time to wait. The waiting fight, I call it the waiting fight. And the hardest part is really the waiting. Really, you know. So you train. You think you're really in good shape. You've seen guys like this. John's seen guys like this too. Then all of a sudden they go out to fight, and they're dead tired within a minute. Although you've got them training 10 minutes really super hard in the gym. Why? I'm going to tell you the secret why. Because they're thinking at a high rate of speed. That they're not thinking when they're training because it's just relaxed now. They're used to doing it. They just go through the motions. But now they're put in a fight. They're like, holy shit, this guy's actually going to try to knock me out or break my arm or what, depending on how you fight, you know, what you're doing. Like what I'm doing, this guy's going to try to break me in half, you know, with kicks or elbow me or knee me into, you know, into the hospital. So
it's the excessive tension.
It's the consequences that you think about during the fight. You're not thinking about when you're training. You can try to do it, but most people cannot ever get that when they're working on a bag or something. Have the same idea. Oh, I'm going to die. You know what I mean? I got to, you know, it's sort of a panic deal. But why is it so draining? Because when you think, you're burning up your glucose. Because your brain's running on glucose. So now the energy that you had, right? This is your energy that you had that you were working out. You're 5 minutes hard, and you still haven't only had this much glucose, and then the glycogen that you're going to use that's stored up. Well, what happens? You get in the ring. You've already used all your glucose up because you already thought so much, and that your glucose is gone. All right, so you get in the ring. You're already in your glycogen. You're already in your glycogen thing. You blow your glycogen out in 60 seconds. You're done, you know, and you don't because you haven't trained with the same emotional content. That's why the Russians, the Soviet bloc, would always have. They would put you in fights that weren't the real fights, but the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Same everything. You know, they would try to be knocking each other out or whatever with bigger pads, or they would just try to knock you out. At a certain point in the training, you don't start out that way. That doesn't get you very far. But why? Because then they learn how to relax. That okay, you know, yeah, it's trying to kill me, but you know, and that's the thing with the Thai. So they don't sit out, or they don't go in the back like everywhere else. You're in the back getting ready to fight. You know what I mean? And you got guys. You're gonna kill this motherfucker. You know what I mean? You know, get like this. We need that because we don't fight as much as they do. These guys, you sit out in the audience. You know, they're like, you know, you're fighting this guy that's waving at you and stuff. You know, we don't operate like that. You know, and watching other guys fighting, it's like, okay, time to get oiled. You get oiled. You know, okay, get in the ring. You do the Rambo, you do the white crew. You know, and then you go to the center. They won't let you walk around on your own in the ring either. Like the referee will force you back in your corner, so you can't go over and try to do stuff like you do in the West. You can't do that. I've tried that. That's like the guy's like, God damn it, and so he can't do that stuff. But then they come out with the thing because be here. This is they come out like we're talking, this is where they're doing the last instructions, but they make you both touch. You both touch. You see guys kind of like this, with each other. And this guy, the guy across from you, I'm like, this guy's gonna fight me, But they try to get Western people to relax at that. Then all of a sudden, wow, kaboof! You're this little motherfucker. You know what I mean? Because they just go for like a light switch. Wow. We're not like that, I mean, we have to be, because I don't even, if I'm going to, but this guy, it's got to catch a lot of guys. I mean, you'd be thrown off with that stuff too, John, I mean, you come out there, and the round was starting, they come out there, wow, and then, wham. After everything be like, yeah, like you're supposed to be, oh, I didn't really mean it, you know? Yeah. You know? I've had guys, you know, they're like, wow, you okay? You okay? You know? Yeah, that's why you're fighting me, you know, because you care about how I am, you know? You know? So, I mean, it's a totally different culture type of fighting. And it's very hard for Westerners to get into that. Because, you know, when you fight in Holland, you fight in Japan, even in Japan, or anywhere in the West, you're back with your corner guys and stuff, getting ready to fight. Because you got to switch. It's not normal life. You know, you're not walking around and all of a sudden you face a trained guy. That doesn't really happen often. You know, it doesn't happen unless you're hanging out with other fighters, going to the places they do, and saying, hey, you lie, you know, something breaks out. It's not going to happen. But you have to be able to. Why I'm mentioning this is because there are other ways that things that you don't expect, because you expect it to be. That's the way we do things. They're not. They're trying to kill you. You know what I mean? You got to realize there's guys out there that are like light switch, you know, and then afterwards they're like, you know, everything's okay, but they'll fight you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You know what it's totally different because here's you know, it's you fight from hate, which is good. It gives you it's a good thing because when you start getting tired, you need something. You have to have some sort of motivation to drive you through. And you got some guy, you just like. You know, I can't hate this guy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know, you're in your corner. Why are you not trying to take his head off? You know, the guy's smiling at me. I feel sorry for the guy. You know what I mean? You know, they don't get it. You know what I mean? You know. But anyway. So, but back to throwing that all in because giving you a little clue about in Thailand. But you got to fight what's right for your body. Now, if you're smaller, you're going to do. It's easier for you. Your energy. You're not using as much energy on everything. You know, my leg is a third of the weight of a lot of these Thais that are fighting. I'm moving a third of their weight every time I kick. And then I kick them all. You know, and you know. How many heavyweights do you see throwing? You know, I'm like, I was in Bangkok. I was screaming, yelling. You know, I'm a fucking heavyweight. We don't throw 300 damn kicks around, you know? We throw punches. When I yelled this, like for some reason it was the end of the round. You know, it's one of the perfect times when everybody was quiet. You know? And my Dutch friend said, yeah! He was over in the other ring. There was two different rings, you know? And he's a heavyweight too, you know. And it's like I'm a fucking heavyweight, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, you know, when I started that, it's like because I was yelling at the guys holding the pad, you know. And I like this. It was the whole gym, you know what I mean? The whole gym. He's like, yeah, you know. And I'd scream and yell and kicking because it's so rough, you know. I was like, ah, you know. The Thai started loving that though. You know, I'd come to the gym, you know, he's crazy, you know. So, yeah, they respect crazy for some reason. But yeah, but I mean, you have to. The training is so hard in that temperature. I mean, you don't know how much that adds to it. Like I showed John some tape of me working on Cambodia. It's high motor density. I said, but John, also realize that's 100 degrees too, which doesn't translate to watching on the thing.
What he means by high motor density, there was a whole lot of punching and kicking going on, a lot of work in a short period of time. A lot of punches and kicks in a very condensed, short period of time in 100-degree high humidity weather.
Yeah.
You know, I watched the tape. It's pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah. But anyway, but the point being, you don't see that on tape. You don't know how much that changes things. It changes things immensely. So I say that for a variety of reasons. People come from the United States or Canada and go there, and they think they're going to do the same training that other people are doing there. And what happens is they try to impress people, they get sick. And they get violently sick right away. And then they're 2 weeks out, and they come back and they do the same thing again. You know, boom, they do this. I've never done that. You know, I've never been sick from that. I've never overtrained myself to that point where you're just blown out because your hormonal system is blown out. Your cortisol's screwed, and it takes months really to come back when you really blow it out big time like that. You got to be aware of the environment you're training in, and you got to go little. If you can do a whole lot here, and this doesn't mean anything, you're not ready for the jungle. I'm sure you cannot. Guys that can do a whole lot in this weather right now can't do anything there. One round they'll be, they'll be dying really seriously in one round. And you see guys that can do, like I was doing. I can't do that right now. If I went back right now, because I'm not adapted to that. My plasma has got to thin out, and my things got to change. My thermoregulatory system is not the same as it is because I'm not in it. But you have got to be aware that any little thing you do changes anything. Any little thing that you change is going to change your performance level. And that's what I'm saying there. Anything that's off with me, if I'm just a little bit off on anything, it affects. Here I get away with doing things that there I can't possibly do. I cannot possibly do it because it'll affect me for a week. If I drink a beer there, I'm screwed for a week because as you're such a fine line of your training that anything, and you're just like, and for a long time, not just one day and you're over it. No, it's a long time. But here you can get away with doing all sorts of stuff in this weather, temperature, because for me it's about the heat. It's what really screws with me, and anybody big is going to screw with them. And we're not evolutionarily from that region. Everybody from that region is small. Why? Less surface area to cool. That's it. Everybody around the equator is small. That's just how it is. As you go further north, they get bigger and fatter than you're in Ohio. It's always the biggest culture shock to me when I come back to the United States. How in the hell do you get that fat? You had to be working at it. You know what I mean? You had to be working at it. Seriously, because you see people, and I told some of you guys before. I said, I'm in Europe, and I'd say, people have got asses this big. No, impossible. Of course, you guys here know that this is not the biggest one. You've seen it. But they can't. Now, they think I'm lying. I had to work a week and find pictures online of big fat asses from the United States to show them. Oh, how can you let your? I said, and the thing is, it's normal there. The other day, John and I were down with Louie, and next to us there weren't pigs, there were elephants in this van. I'm not kidding. If anybody was under 300 pounds, it was by an ounce. It was a whole family. It was a family.
Everybody.
It was a family. I'm not kidding. If they're in Asia, they can't be on anything. They'll break it.
From the eclipse of the sun.
And it was at night even. But no, I'm serious. They would break things. They could not be on a motorcycle. They could not be in a tuk-tuk, which is a kind of taxi. They would break it. Seriously, it's just, it's just, I'm getting off the track here, but I'm saying that because obviously, I'd like to see those guys kick at least even 3 times in a round, They could do, that's 2 minutes. One more. Ding. Oh, okay. But I'm serious. Your body size changes everything in what you do. Okay. One of the things that's very important, and this is one of the things you can just like this. He has no idea what I'm going to do. Just go like this and kick in. You won't get hurt. You stink in, your crew's over. That's my Don Rickles. I've been watching a lot of Don Rickles lately on YouTube. He's a genius. Anyway, so one of the things that is very important and that you can actually learn and teach yourself to be ready for is the shock. Okay, because it will. People who aren't used to contact are shocked, and actually really shocked, and they'll pause, they'll freeze. When I came back to fighting, my trainer in Holland said to me, guys who were good fighters before think they can come right back in, but they're not used to it. They forgot how much this stuff hurts, because this guy was the heavyweight champion of Holland. That means something, because they're the #1 heavyweights in the world. If you were the heavyweight champion of Holland, that's, you're like the best in the world, or one of the best, and one day you might be off. But anyway, and he's saying, you know, I hadn't fought, he said, he hadn't fought in how many years. He said, you know, if you whack me, I might just freeze up and you got me. Because it's something that you forget about. And that's when I came back to fighting 2 years ago or whatever, I'd forgotten about this, you know? Because I was like, damn, you know what I mean? I was like, poof. And this guy that kicked me was hard, but it was nowhere near like these guys in what I faced with 90-kilo ties. That's, you guys would cry, you know what I mean?
90-kilo Dutch?
Huh?
You said ties.
Yeah, now I fought 91-kilo ties.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So, yeah, when they kick, you know. But we'll talk about. So how can we get used to this? This is something you guys that are in classes can do every time in class, and you should be doing. Okay.
Yeah, we're not.
Okay. This is very important. And those of you that are not in class, I guess you can just. Hey, can you do this to me? You know, it's kind of bizarre. But anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do things like this. It doesn't have to be hard. You just start, you know, just you're doing things like this for, you know, like 30 seconds to a minute. You know, boom, boom, boom. So just get, because this is a shot. You don't, okay, the head you don't hit, all right. We were cracking up. I got to throw the story in. We were watching, there's two guys from the United States, MMA guys in Cambodia with me, and there's an Irish guy. And we're watching these Cambodian nutcases. They had heavy bag, and I don't want to really do this much, but this guy was doing rounds of this. And we were just laughing. He was like, but then he started taking on the chin. We were like, you can't develop your chin by doing that, you know what I'm saying? We were just laughing. We're like, look at this nutcase over here, you know? But, yeah, so forget the face, okay? But still, this stuff, because if you haven't done it, you know, it'll send off little shockwaves, and then when you get a little bit better, I mean, when you built up to it, you go a little harder. But feedback with each other. Don't just walk on, whoa, wow, you know? But whatever. So, a little bit of practice here, beating on each other, pair up, and one person, you know, get in that position, and the other one whack, and then take turns. But feedback, you know, don't do it real hard right now. But be honest, and admit to yourself that, hey, wow, I kind of froze there, because when we fight, we're using that to set people up too. Because there's still a little bit, but when you get up to, you can build up, is what I'm saying. Initially, what shocked you won't shock you any longer. But there comes a point, like I'm telling John, you know, when you cannot step off a curb and take a bus in the face. You know, there's a certain level where it's just physics. There's no, you know, and I'm fighting at that level. There is no taking it. You know what I mean? If these guys hit you, you're done. You're over with it. You're gone. It's too powerful. It's the same thing. Well, you got to be tough. Be tough in front of a truck. You know, I'm tough. You know what I mean? It doesn't. There's a certain point. You know, it's not like a chihuahua jumping at you. You know, oh, it jumped on my crotch. Oh, you know, oh, take it. You know, it's not the same thing. You know, all of a sudden the bus, whoa, you know, I'm tough. I'm really tough. Come on. You know, it doesn't matter what your mindset is. It's too much. You know. Sort of like that Godzilla versus Bambi. Remember that? Remember that little cartoon?
Back in the early 70s, late 60s.
Yeah, you know.
Paw comes out.
Yeah, just steps on Bambi, you know.
Pleasant music, Bambi's nibbling the foliage, you know. The titles are coming up, and the sweet music, and all of a sudden, Godzilla's big hoof comes out. You see a couple deer legs over here. The end. What kind of sick drug produced rascal made that?
Anyway, but the same thing. There's a certain point you cannot absorb, you cannot whatever. But you can build up to taking more than what you thought you could take, okay, and not shock you. So that's what the point of this is. So, you know, you're obviously not going to be here with sledgehammers swinging against each other. You will not build up to some martial arts sort of, you know, mystical thing with sledgehammers. But you will, however, get better at, and this is something, it's sort of desensitization. What's the word? How do you
Desensitizes.
Yeah.
Desensitization.
Yeah, I can't say some words in English any longer, but this is a really good analogy too. That you may know techniques right now. You may know how to. You guys are trained. You know, you may know some grappling chokes and finishing holds and pain, and you may know some striking. Okay. that's the same thing as, okay, I know how to shift. I know how to use the clutch. I know how to steer the car. I know how to do that. But that does not mean that you can find your way from here to St. Louis. What do you need to find your way from here to St. Louis? You need a map. You need a map. So this is the same thing. This is going to make life. Well, you could try on your own. You might get there, and and 4 months from now, hell, I've been in,
Nebraska.
yeah, I've been in Nebraska. Or I heard that Bugs Bunny. I took a wrong turn in Albuquerque. Whatever he used to say, you know that. But, okay, but the map. So that's what I'm going to concentrate. That's what positional fighting is, giving you the map. And I will go into that really tomorrow. But all this has to do with that. Everything I'm doing is, I'm going to give you things you didn't have before, or you're going to get the beginnings of the things. Okay, but the things that you do have now, the things that you learn, the things that you work on, you need a map. Because otherwise, I'm driving around in my driveway. Well, John can't even do that. The other night he backed right into the house.
Oh, shut up.
He backed into the house. Boom! I said, once again, John's sailor parking by his sense of smell. He smelled that he was close to the house. So, well, bam! And he's like, oh no, it destroyed the house. I said, John, I don't think we hit it that hard enough to destroy the house. But But anyway, yeah. So that's a good example. He needed a map. He needed a map. I need to stop now. Get out and look. He needed guidance. So that's what a map is. The analogy is very good because it's exactly what you have. If you got punches and kicks and knees and elbows and everything else, how are you going to fight it? But what's your plan to fight this guy? You're just going to go out and punch and kick? That's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason. Go out. That's great, but how? How? What's your map? What's your strategy? What's your whatever? And that's what positional fighting is, and we'll get into that. But the footwork. Okay. Now I look at fights in the U.S. and I mean, sticking with my kickboxing, but MMA doesn't have it at all. Of course, you got a lot of stuff. You got to concentrate on a lot of things. There's a lot of ways to fight MMA. But if you get good at one thing, it's going to make you better at other things. So this is one of the things that's very important, and this doesn't happen here. And it has to work on what Alex was talking about before, footwork. It really is about footwork. Now, I could spend months working on you with this because it takes a long time, especially when you haven't done it. The big key, though, is that I'm going to work on I worked with Mark on this already. That's when he was grinning, He's going to be like, oh, I've never been able to do that before. John knows this. Stu, thank you. Which is from, I told him that we've got to find the tape because everyone thinks we're insane, They're doing that. And we got guys imitating us who think it came from us. It's like, no, it's Gene LaBelle. Gene LaBelle. We were laughing because Gene LaBelle does that. So we took that, started doing that. We know what the illusion is. No one else knows. So I said, we got to find the tape, show people so they don't think that we're just nutcases with each other doing this. Oh, we got our own nutcase things that we do. You guys know that. But anyway, here the point is the footwork. The footwork is very different. The footwork, okay, what I see, and I can watch people's classes in karate or whatever, or MMA classes, or just people and I watch them on the bag. I can say, okay, you guys are kicking. Kicking is not what I want. I want a weapon. And there's a big difference. And you're going to see. I'll show you the big difference. A kick. I don't want to kick anymore. I want a weapon. And once you see the difference in this, you're going to be like, oh, you're going to be scared. You're going to be scared shitless. And you should be, because it's not this. Oh, it's a kick. You know what I mean? That's how I think of it. Because you can walk through how most people kick. You cannot walk through guys that throw a weapon at you. And I'm saying because I want you to change your mind that this is not what you've thought of as kicking before. This is a weapon now, and the only way you're going to develop, the only way you're going to get it is by the footwork. And people here don't do it, and I'm going to start out on this. I'm going to get you guys doing this, and we're going to use some tie pads for this too. But right now, I want to work on the footwork, and you're not going to get it right away. It's going to take some time, but like Alex was saying, this is the key to everything. You know, a guy with no legs on the ground screaming at you, "Come here, I'll kick your ass." It's not very dangerous. You know what I mean? You can walk around him. You know what I mean? And throw quarters at him. You know, "Come here, I'll kick your ass." You know what I mean? Think of it that way.
Ankles.
You know, but that's how people fight here. They really don't understand that. What happens? Okay, here's what happens. Okay, I'm southpaw, so I'm going to stay in my southpaw stance. Okay, they're for here. They're standing still. Then suddenly, because I'm going to work on the kick, because the kick is going to force you to do. You've got to have footwork to do this kick correctly. We'll work on punching too, and a lot of other things. But this kick will make you have to. Okay, you can get away with garbage and punching because you don't have to concentrate. But you're going to have to concentrate to do this kick the right way. Oh, what do you see? What do you see a lot here? You see guys standing here. All of a sudden, you know, oh, that wouldn't be a kick, would it? You know what I'm saying? It's just suddenly they're going from no movement whatsoever to try to kick you. No, that wouldn't be a kick, would it? You know what I'm saying? Or all of a sudden they do the old karate step cross. Oh, you're moving now. That wouldn't be a kick, would it? You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to tell. That stuff's not going to cut it against someone who does something. That's what we're trying to raise your game now. You know, we're not. You know, it'd be nice if you kick guys who you could just kick and just those. Now, when somebody gets super tired, then you can pull off stuff like that because they're so tired. But that's when, you know, then we get into conditioning, which is a huge factor in any type of trained fight. It's a big thing, you know. Conditioning will win fights. But right now, you got to develop. Okay, you got to develop. So if I'm right in front of you and I don't do anything, then suddenly I move. Then I move. Gee, that wouldn't be a kick, would it? You know, or I do some karate cross step, or suddenly I step over like this. That wouldn't be a kick now, would it? You know? How difficult is that? Because I'm not giving him anything. I'm just here. Or then I suddenly step. Ooh, that's real difficult to know what he's up to. Okay? It gets more and more subtle. Now, what I want to work on here, the footwork that I want to work on, as Alex was talking about, people are not going to like this because they're not going to be. No one is really going to be developed in here on this. As that's to be on your toes. People here are not going to be used to that because it takes training. Your calves are not going to be able to. You're going to go back to flat-footed. So what I want. You see how I'm moving my foot in and out, right? This. I just want this. Okay. Why do guys do this in Thailand? Because they are going to throw, and they're going to learn another thing that I taught Mark. He said, "Oh, that's so simple. This one thing is very easy to do, but they fight like this because they don't use a lot of energy." They don't do a lot of lateral and movement and things like that. They don't use a lot of energy when they're doing this. But then when they go, it's wow, 100%. It's not 70%. It's 100%. Now the kick itself takes more energy than karate kicking, but it's faster. And I'll tell you the fault. What you see with karate kicking is a two-part kick. What we call an Asian two-part kick. Well, go ahead, Alex. You know, demonstrate. Well, if you feel okay, do high. Okay, you see that? How he's doing? He's doing high. It's okay actually to use this kick high now and then. It's okay, but to use it anywhere else in the body is suicide against how we're gonna do it. Yeah, that for example. You see that? It's a two-part kick. I mean 1, 2. Okay. Now, in slow motion, no, you and me, okay? In slow motion, otherwise, okay, so Alex starts his kick, right? Okay, he's going up 1, and I'm doing 1 kick. Yeah. I'm already connecting before he gets 2 off. It is too slow. This kick takes more energy, the one I'm using, than the one he does. People do it because they can do it in the air. Yeah. The type I'm throwing, you're going to have to spin around if you do it in the air. But yeah, my type takes more energy. You've got to be in better shape than doing that one. But you see when he starts, see, he's coming up for part 1. I'm already halfway there. Even if he initiated the kick. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So he initiates a kick. I'm already halfway there, even though he initiates. We're basically moving around the same speed. before he can get too off, I've connected. And he's going, yeah. And this is, you know, I love to fight guys who do two-part kicks. It makes life easy for me. Not, you know, in Asia, guys don't do that. But if you fight some people in Europe that still will do that, and you fight guys in the U.S., they'll definitely do that. You know, but you can destroy them. So that's the thing. Now, yes, you can use it high. Why can you use it high? Why is it okay to use high? Because if I have my hands right here, and he comes up with a two-part, he'll come flat in if he's got good flexibility. He'll come flat in and hit me. If he uses it coming up on a slant, there's a slant kick that I'll talk about. It's going to hit my hand first. This has got to be lower for him to slant one in. But if he comes up and that, you know, it's a good something to put in now and then. But you cannot kick here and lower with it. You know, and it's got to be, you got to be doing these other ones and then there. Yeah, okay. You don't, you know, go out and do this high kick with it like that right away, unless you got a super fast one, which might be your attribute. You might have one, you know. But if you have it, that's what I'm saying. You have it, you will develop it and use it. That's fine. Nothing against it. But I'm saying the two-part kick is structurally slow and it doesn't cut it compared to one motion. To one motion, you know, it's the same thing as I'm going to step backwards before I punch or something. You see me step back and you're already punching, you're going to hit me. Yeah. It's the same thing. Now, okay, so back to the movement. You see how I'm stepping, right? I'm stepping because when you do this kick, you're going to step. You're going to step with the kick. That's what's going to give it. You're going to start. You can develop weapon power. When you cannot standing here develop weapon power with this thing. So you're going to have to step. You're going to have to step in. And this is a big thing that people in the West don't do. They don't have to step. You know, they don't do the step here. So this little bit, if I'm fighting Alex, it's okay, stand, okay, I'm fighting Alex here. This step, I can hit him. I'll guarantee I can land a kick. Being here and just stepping that far. It's not splits. Okay, you're not going to be able to get things off. Because you also got to be here, and if he throws, I got to be able to block. Okay? But just this, you know, and I'll do these things like this so you don't know when it looks just like the kick. So then when I do throw the kick, it looks just like everything I was just doing before, right? Yeah. So that takes time, and you're not going to be able to do it without you having to concentrate. Not just I'm moving my foot, you know, you're not just going to come out here and do this. You've got to think, kicking, you know, kicking. Okay. Now right now, try it without moving the back foot at all. You just move the front foot. But be on yeah. Okay, yeah, but not moving, yeah. Yeah, okay, so everybody practice that for several minutes, because this is something that's going to take a long time. I got to go use the facilities, as John would say. Okay, almost all the way on the back. Okay. Once again, because why? Because if you're going to really launch, you're really going to kick, you're going to push again, right, from the back leg. You're going to drive from the back leg. This is something you're going to have to think about even when you punch. If you really want to be a hard puncher, you got to think from your feet up. You got to think push, okay? Whatever. So this is all about, there's really, when you're just doing this right now, and I'm orthodox right now, your weight's on the back, almost all of it. This is just sort of keeping you balanced, the front. But see how I'm moving in and out? Because if I'm going to kick, I'm going to push off the back leg, right? But if I'm moving around 50-50, then you're going to see me set to come. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is about, it looks the same, they never know. This will drive a guy insane. If what you're doing always looks like the kick, or always looks like the punch, then you can punch and kick at will. Because they cannot just be so vigilant that they can read everything. But if all of a sudden it looks different, if you're moving, okay, if I'm moving around like this, now I'm going to kick. That you can read that, you know. If I'm just moving around flat-footed and stuff, now I'm going to kick for power. You see how I come back? But if I'm moving around like this, I'm the orthodox, which is not how I fight. But if I'm moving around like this, you know, I'm moving around like this, you know. Boom, let's go back to my way. Okay, so I'm moving around like this, doing stuff, you know. There it is, you know. It's the same. You're not going to see it. You're just going to feel it. Or you're going to realize, oh, here, oh, shit, you know, and it's too late at that point. Then it's like, maybe I can try to absorb it a little bit better, but you're going to take it, you know, so. Yeah, don't get in the habit of leaning over your back leg. You know, you're not like, yeah, this, you know, don't do this. You're not, don't move around like that. That's not, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that's what people are doing, you know. Yeah, just try to stay more on the, don't move the back foot right now. Just move the front foot by itself. Okay. Yeah, stay on the toes. Yeah, like that. Now, but okay, you've got a good motion, but what you don't have is you're not thinking kick. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to think, because the motion's good, but I want you to put little things in like you're actually going to kick. Yeah, think to yourself, kick, but don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Stop it right before you're going to kick. Yeah, you know, because it's got to, but you got to think it. You know what I'm saying? You got to think to yourself, I'm kicking, then just stop it at the very last second. Because his motion is good, he doesn't have a problem. But there's no, he's really going to kick me. I didn't know it. You know what I'm saying? But if you concentrate on kicking me, then I get a different vibe. And so it's come here, Alex. Be honest about this, okay? Okay. So, okay. He really doesn't feel anything, right? Okay. Now I'm gonna switch. Yeah, do you feel, you know?
Well, I've talked about
the
post before. It's palpable.
Yeah. So, but see, I've got him jumping around right now, and that's what I want. But if I'm just out here like this, I'm not doing anything. Because then what he'll notice is that the intent has changed. But you've got to work on the intent right now, so that you disguise it. And the only way to do that is by constantly thinking about it right now. You know, you've got to concentrate on it right now. I'm kicking. I'm actually, you know.
And talking to yourself in your head.
Yeah, you've got to talk. I think sometimes that it's not always a step forward when you're going to kick me. It's when you come back. Now you're going to kick me. Okay, so I never know. If I'm trying to watch you, I never know. You know, this is where you start getting screwed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. The only way you're going to do that, though, is by you concentrating on it. And this is why I'm saying you're not going to get this today. But if I get you to understand what it takes to do it, and if you work on it, you'll get it. Okay? There's no quick answer here. It's a developmental thing, like we're talking about. But I'm telling you how to do it. Which most people, like Mark, I told Mark, he said, people don't know how to do this. Of course they don't, the crowd. But they don't do it in this country. And the only way you're going to get a weapon is to have this. I'm not kidding. And the only way you're going to land it on somebody is to be able to do this. Okay? Because they're not going to just let you come up and hit them with a baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make them think. They're not going to, wow. Okay? So continue. I know this is, you know, it's frustrating. It should be frustrating, actually. Okay, that went up as a two-part kick. Did you see that? Okay. I do not want the two-part kick. Okay. I want you when you step that the whole thing comes and you got it, and you're gonna have it's harder. This is much harder to kick like this. A two-part kick is easier. But you don't have, you know, okay, that's an annoying kick to me. If I get kicked with that. In a real fight, I'm like, what? You can't kick. You know? I'm serious. So make the step, then the kick comes, okay? Yeah, like just how you're doing it there, okay? You twist everything. I don't want to start over-explaining everything right now because there's things that you will do when you do it correctly, but if I tell you, you're going to try to force it to happen, and I don't want that to happen right now. So make the step and kick. Okay, that's better. You already see the difference in the power level right there, just from that one? Okay, so go ahead. Yeah. Take the step, but control your leg when you know what I'm saying. You're just kind of your balance after your kick there isn't any.
All right.
Okay, so you got to be able to control your leg come back, so that would be more balanced. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's the same thing as punching and falling in. Okay. That's what you're doing right now. Okay, you're kicking and falling in.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's better. Now, think about Yeah, think about the step, okay? Okay. Okay, flip more. Yeah, flip more. Okay. Okay. It's okay, but, you know, it's okay. It's harder than the first ones you were throwing. But it's got to be more, it's got to be, yeah, it's coming in flat. I like that, okay? That was good. Yeah, it's coming in flat, but you're not whipping the hips, okay? It's difficult because it's a lot more energy than you're used to expending. Yeah. And you're going to be like, God, this is hard. I mean, it's hard energy-wise. But what you're doing that I do like is you're coming in flat, and you're leaning a little bit, which is good. Because now you're not in the front of the right hand coming back at you, which is very important. Well, I'm going to talk about that, okay? But whip, okay? When you take the step, whip your leg with no abandon, abandon. Better, you know what I'm saying? But you just got to come through it. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Okay. Now, what you're doing is, if I'm in front of you, right, and I'm kicking, you're going here, and you're letting the leg go. Your hips are straight in front of me. There's a big difference if my hips, when I end up, my hips are not. See, what happens here is your legs kind of whipping around like a, I don't know, like an antenna or something, you know, when you whip an antenna. But there's no power on it because my hips stop the kick. You know what I'm saying? The power is out here on me throwing this kick like this. But it's just because you got some flexibility that's going around. But that's nowhere near as hard as if I come just get your hips around in it. Okay, the mechanics are important, very important. So if you just get your hips twisted into it, you'll be good. You'll be good. Yeah, more. Think. Okay, I want you to think. Do it and throw the hand. And throw the hand. Okay, that will make you twist over your. Better. Experiment with it. You know. Yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while. This is not something. Yeah, but go more. You're beginning to do it. You see how he's beginning to flip his hip? When I'm stepping, and you see how, and if I really get to step, you see I'm coming into that. You don't really want to get those. You don't want to eat those, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to eat those in there or into the body. You see you see how, you see how my step though, that's, and the more I do, the better I'll get because I'll start warming up. But do you see my mechanics though, on the
yes, I think
what I'm doing?
Yeah.
But it comes from, here, boom. You see how it's coming? Okay. That's what I want everybody to try to do. Kick over this. Yeah, see how that makes you? Now you're suddenly flipping your hip over. Why? Because everyone, even though it's not going to hurt, they don't want to hit the stick, the bat. But you see that? See now that's your. Yeah, you turn your hip now do it, but concentrate on the step and do it. Yeah. That's it. Do you feel different?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you feel more like, wow, can't wait to land it? Do you understand what I'm saying by a weapon? It's not a kick like you thought of before. Now it's a weapon, And think of the step. Yeah. See now now he understands the step. No, calm down. Get back to the high school thing. All right. Think about the step, okay?
Okay.
You're just I want to kick, No, get out of the high school stuff, Poor Josh, we'll have to tell him. So he's the only one I don't think doesn't know what we mean by that. But don't you step too much sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. It is sideways, but it's you got to have some so you can come in. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Do it. Yeah. Now think about it every time you do it like that. Now, you're back to high school. I got an hour left. You know. Ken knows from personal experience. He remembers.
High school flashback.
Come on, honey. Skip the rest of the movie. Yeah. Okay. Think about the step. Okay. I want you to concentrate on the step. It's going to make you better. Okay. Concentrate on the step, then do it. Yeah. Do you feel? You feel different. That's why I could tell when Ken did it. He's like, ooh, bing, 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 light went off, and the step makes sense, and you start feeling like you've got a weapon. I'm not. When I said weapon, it's not to sound cool. It's because it's not like how you thought kicking before, right? Because his stepping is good. See how see that? I mean, too high. You're going too high. Yeah. Don't do it in a 2-part kick. Just bring it up. Yeah, you got flexibility. We can see that. we don't need the high kick right now. I just need you to get over this back. Okay, right here. Better. It should feel like that. It should feel like woo. Yeah, you'll get that. It's kind of cool. You know. I mean, you get this kind of cool motion going with it. Better, yeah. See, at your weight, you got to be fast. I mean, you've got to do it fast because guys your weight are fast. And this kick is like, you know. I mean, because you got to use every bit of your weight at this, you know, because you're like Thai size. You know, I mean, seriously, those guys will tear you apart. You know, because they will kick like, wow, what the hell? You know. Yeah, so I want you to think, you know, whip that thing. You know, get it. Yeah, better. No, you're doing what Alex did. You're just machine gunning it. Think about the step. Think step and then do it. Slow yourself down. Think about the step and then do it. Okay, you don't have to do the kick slow, but I'm saying slow yourself down because if you're in front of a guy jumping around, he's going to be ready for you to do something. But if you're going slow and then suddenly whack, do you understand the difference? But if you're out there jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean, yeah, you're going too high though. You don't have to go. Yeah, just come across right now. You're going like shoulder level. You don't have to right now. Yeah, but throw the kick fast. That's it. You got the motion. Stay that. Yeah, move like you're moving right now. That speed. But then when you do the kick, wham. Okay. Yeah, but when you kick, when you kick,
he's locking his hip back, right?
Kick. No. His tempo step movement is good, like that. Okay, that's how you're going to fool somebody because if I come out here in front of Alex, okay, he's ready for me to do something. He'll be like this, but if I come out here
and then fly,
bam, up, and he's on the ground. And thank you, crap. Okay? But, so, when you go, because you're moving slow now, doesn't mean you do the kick slow. But I want because you're not using any energy, You just, you're doing this, you're doing this. See, this is what's really, you don't want to fight a guy like this. If you're in front of a guy like that, you're scared. So I want you to become like that, to do that, okay?
Yep.
So, yeah, you're doing this, everything's good, just when you go with a kick, go, explode. One person, I think we have enough time for that. That all works out. One person is the holder, okay? There's only that one leg. We're not doing both legs. Just whatever the primary leg is, all right? And the other guy will do the kicks. Boom. Now, with the tight kick, come here, slow, and we'll do this slow. Okay, kick. Okay, how do you, little Thais that are his size hold pads for me in Thailand. Here, I would break somebody in half that size. Why? Because they know how to hold a pad. okay? And they're using, they don't know these little, I don't know, they're sick guys. Some of them use really thin pads, you know? I mean, I'm like, I'm going to break them in half, you know? I mean, they come off the ground and stuff, and I'm kicking them, and everybody stops and wants to watch. Oh, you know, they're idiots. They call me like King Kong and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's what I want to be known as, you know? Oh, look, King Kong, kill him, oh, you know? And anyway, but my point about it is that guys that size can hold pads that are worse than these pads. These are not the best pads, but they can hold pads. And how? Because they know what to do, and that's what I'm going to try to cover right now, okay? A little bit about it. Okay, kick slow. Okay, see when he kicks, I want the front pad. I want to try to break with the front pad, because if I just let him kick into this, he's going to kick only on the back pad, number one, and then if you really kick hard, he could possibly break somebody's arm through this pad. I guarantee I could break somebody's arm who doesn't know how to hold here. So when he kicks it, but also I want to. You see how I'm not going to be way out, okay, with the pads. I'm going to be the ties that are there. But see, I want to go ahead and kick you. You see that?
Yeah, I can feel it here.
Yeah, but see, I can take these. Yeah, start kicking harder. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm tight with my body with the pads. I'm not out. Okay. With the harder kicks, you're going to be tight with your body, but to the front one, you want to slightly push the front one into the kick. Okay. Because that's going to absorb the power. You cannot let him, because he'll land on the back pad only, okay? And without having, it's going to shock you, but then you also get used to shock too, by the way, But so yeah, so
More into
tighter into your body if he kicks harder. If the guy kicks harder, tight. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you feel the difference?
Yeah,
Alex,
it's
how to hold.
taken off the.
Yeah,
Just that little.
yeah, but. Yeah, see, and that makes you have to kick harder, see, because you feel like, hey, no, that's
I'm not moving.
I'm not doing anything to him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, one person's a kicker, one person's a tie pad holder, and then I want you to do 20 kicks, okay? And then switch after 20 kicks, okay? Because there's nothing but kicking. I can talk about it. I can tell you the theory. I can make drawings on the board. So what? It doesn't mean anything. You've got to actually do it. This is why I talk about with John. I don't want to listen to people's theories. Oh, I got a theory. I'm 19 years old, and I think I look really good. And I'm a really different girl, and it's really good. Shut up! Shut up! I don't want to hear it. You got a theory? I don't care about your theory, sweetheart. What have you lived through? What's your experience is the only truth, But no, you're not different. You're a stupid bitch. You look like a big deal. I've seen you for 20 years, girls that think they're hot. I don't care, And so you gotta. Kicking is the same thing. The theory, I don't care. I've got a kicking theory. I don't care about your kicking theory. Can you kick? That's all it counts. That's all it counts here.
They're good kicks.
I'll let them know when they
Jason, shift the angle a little bit. You're like you're straight step, okay?
That's why I'm so
You're stepping, and he knows you're going to go over there. It's got to be slight. Yeah, it's got to be slight, okay?
to a positive thing.
I'm in front of you. You're not constantly going like this. You're not going to stand there, are you? You're going to come over here. But if I'm here, you think I'm going to.
I got to think about the kick.
You don't think I'm going to slide. I'm in a slight step. I'm going to nail you. But if I'm constantly stepping like this, you're not going to stay there. You're going to go over. You know what I'm saying? You're doing too much. Just a slight, okay? Because there's a difference between the drive-through boom, okay, that we're doing the big angle on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, now, but we can't do that big step, because if I do the big step like this, he knows. The guy knows. I'm going to go. I'm going to still get him, but the guy's not going to move his own. Check.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll talk about it. You know, okay? But don't give away. Yeah, you're kicking too high. No. Now, your pads are on.
When they don't think about it.
Pads are okay, but you're going up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, something very simple and very effective, and something that's not going to take a whole lot of training. I mean, this is not anywhere near trying to get the weapon type of thing going on. Okay, that is going to take a long time. Guys, in Thailand or Cambodia or wherever, or Holland, you get people. It takes months. You know what I'm saying? You get this poof, 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 this thing. Well, when you get it though, it's dangerous. So I'm saying it's not a kick anymore. It's not like how you think of kick. We're not done. Believe me, we're not done with it because I got a lot of stuff based on what that doing that. But now, like I was saying before, okay, we're thinking about we're doing this right now. It's a sport. It's a sporting aspect, so you can practice it. But this works out in reality too. So, but why don't people just come flailing in on ties or whatever? Okay, why don't they just coming forward with punches? It's hard to stop if someone comes really fast on you, right? Well, if I'm here and see how I've got most of the weight, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing. I'm doing this. Now let's try to come forward with a little punch. I'm putting this in here, and I got to be careful because the harder he comes across, the more it's going to lock out his leg. This is annoying as hell. That's what the ties do to me when I try, because they know I'm going to punch, and they know they're scared of my punching, So when these guys are constantly doing it, so you don't go here. You don't go up here because this is harder and more difficult. And when you got the oil and the Vaseline on you and stuff, it's easy to slip and miss. And this one, you can't, and as far as MMA goes or the street, it's hard to grab this leg, my leg, to kick it here. Because I'm doing this, and I'm not going into him, okay? I'm not doing this and trying to go into him at all. I'm holding my ground, all right? I'm holding my ground, and I'm, it's just that. And see, even that's irritating right now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Right,
that's irritating.
Yeah.
Oh, bugger.
That would look it. Yeah, well, this is why you don't see jabs. You don't see jabs. Why? Because the jab leaves a big hole. This is not the only hole it leaves, but it's got to be done at the right time. You just can't go out there like boxing and just start jabbing. Why? Because you see what happens. Yeah. Because I could do this all day because this is like no energy, So,
Boom, yeah.
I'm not doing anything else. And if I'll do this, boom, it comes work, then I put it in my whatever, and he's down on the ground. Okay, now that's a little deal. But so practicing just on the bag, it's just you're just doing that. You don't try to make it a two-part kick, and don't try to put, because then you don't have to put a whole lot of power in it, and you're still getting an effect. The water bag takes it, whereas the normal bag's going to go swinging more. But that's it, and you aim right. Well, see, we're pretty close to the same height as like shows you. You're right. You're going into the quadriceps. You're not aiming anywhere. You're not going higher, and you're not going lower. Okay. Because he'll tell you.
Yeah,
you're using your front leg. You're not using your back one, okay? You're using your front one. So that's where these shields will help you guys. If you get the shield, one person can put the shield on pressing it. Don't lock your leg out. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll still hurt you. But yeah. So there you go. So, hold your ground. Don't come forward.
Hold my ground.
Yeah. You see, this is how you keep the guy from coming in. Yeah, there it is.
You come.
Yeah. You see how
hold my ground. Yeah.
You see how
hold your ground.
Yeah, don't come into me and you just give me some, but don't back up. Don't back up. Yeah, boom. So when I come forward, there. Yeah. So you hold the ground, okay? Don't step into it. Don't fall into it. and don't back up. You just do it when it comes. Yeah. So I'm out right now. You can't reach me, right? When I step, boom, there. Okay. That's how to practice. Okay. Let's go ahead. This is no big deal. But it's not difficult to do this kick. That's what I'm saying. But it gives you a big weapon now, a huge weapon, because this will work. In reality, this will work, and it works in the thing. And this is why it's very difficult to try to come across. Why don't you just come across like that? Try it, because the harder you try to come across, you're risking, you're damaging your. And this is why it's annoying when you fight these guys, bastards, So that's why I have to start doing things, take my leg back out of the way, so they think I'm coming forward. Yeah, they'll do that, and then I come forward again. It's the whole game now of how to apply the strikes, which is a different story right now. I'm just developing this, right, which is not going to take long, believe me. But then we'll get into tomorrow. We'll start talking about this. There's a whole lot of stuff I have not covered yet. Yeah, just slow though. Yeah. No. Yeah, only the front leg. Yeah. Do not kick with the back leg, okay? It's too slow. It's too easy to be set up, okay? So it's the front leg. This again, yeah, there. Okay, we can. Okay, it's cool, but you can also step out just a little bit further, Okay. Yeah, that makes it a little more. So she gets yeah, there. Oh. This mark is way too big, you guys. I know, because it's harder than I do.
Oh, yeah? I noticed something about that. Now I'm thinking that could kick right in there.
Yeah. 60 kids. 60. Yeah, you're not going to learn from 20. Yeah. Stay with the side. Don't switch sides. Stay. Kick with the front leg only. Just lift it up. No. Don't step. You're in the same. Okay, you're out here. Like you were. Just there. You see how? I'm not moving anything. This is when he comes forward. Boom. Okay? You're stepping. Don't step with anything. You gotta wait for him to come. When he gets close enough, you can do it. Okay? Hold your ground. Boom, there you go. You'll start feeling it. Your leg weight. Boom, there you go. Okay, just let it go out and come back. It doesn't have to be. I'm trying to overpower it. There, that's hard enough. Yeah. Okay, let it come into you. Let it come. Let it wait. Okay, let it sit in here. Hold it down. There. Let the leg go out. There. You see that? Yeah.
You've been watching for a while then?
There. You see that? No energy. I'm talking about no energy. There's 4 different things that you'll face, and 4 different types of opponents in relationship to you. And one is longer, stronger, or taller, stronger. Okay, I'm saying longer because of the limbs. Other ones we'll do longer, weaker. Okay, then another one is shorter, stronger. Then of course you're going to get shorter, weaker. Okay. Now, the rare thing where you'd be equal, everything would be equal, that's pretty rare, So anytime you're sparring or anytime you're actually in a fight, you're going to be in one of these positions. The other guy is going to be one of these in relationship to you. That's what's important, okay? Because now you can have you'll have a map. From you working out and things you've done before, you're going to have a certain way that you have a style already. Sort of style. Now you're learning new things, and we're going to go. That's what we're working on. But I'm giving you strategy, the map here. So if they're longer and stronger than you, you have to do a lot of like hit and move. Okay, you're going to have to come in and out. You're going to have to come in and out, and you cannot stand in front of them. I think that's right. A lot of people know you can't stand in front of them, but you got to use a lot of fakes and feints. I think that's how you spell feints. If not, that's because I live in Spain. I don't remember English. Okay, so anyway, these are the things you're going to hit and move. You got to do a lot of this because you got to make him commit to a movement. You just don't go in. That's like you know from yesterday, and you know, Mark, that you know. Oh, gee, you're not trying to hit me now or kick me now. Okay, so you got to use this. If you're longer and stronger, you got to hit. You can't stay. You can't stay in a long time. No. Okay. No. I don't know in case of rewind, right? No, stay in. That okay? You have to get in, bop, 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 and out. It's easier for me to get examples from boxing because it's so many fights over so many years of this type of fighter. Consider this, for example. Let's use Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard against Duran, for example. Pop, 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 out. And then, well, but okay, Duran's not taller, but let's just use it. Okay, let's just use it as you know what I'm saying in this case. And then in, you know, quick combos and out in the striking realm. Okay, now I'm not talking about the grappling realm now. In MMA. I know. I'm not watching enough fights right now to get guys because the strategy's different. You know, it's a little different because the thing. It's just striking is much easier, much clearer. Okay, longer and weaker. This is you're going to definitely if you're fighting a guy that's longer but weaker than you, you want to pressure the living hell out of him. Okay, you want to make him fire. You want to make him fire. Because you want to get in, but stay in, okay? Now, for example, who can we use here? Who fought a lot of longer, weaker opponents?
Mike Tyson?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So what did Mike do? A lot of movement, a lot of pressure.
Yeah, constant.
But then he's staying in, right?
Oh yeah.
Pop, pop, pop. Because this is where he was. This is where he's getting all the knockouts, right? That's when he's coming in. So if you're fighting a longer, weaker guy, you pressure, and then you don't let up because his what he has to try to do to you is keep you out. He's got to try to keep you out for striking, you know. He's got to keep you out and he doesn't want to be fighting. He doesn't want to be fighting in here. All right. Now, shorter, stronger. How do you fight a shorter, stronger guy? Well, this one you're going to have to be circling, okay? Because he's got a cross. Remember? Now, you guys know from doing the teep, this is one of the things you can use against this type of guy that you were doing yesterday. And you're gonna stop him with straights.
Yep.
A lot of straights. Now, in boxing, in boxing, that's the jab. That's the jab. Now, in kickboxing, MMA, the jab, you don't see it because it leaves too big of a window. You see it occasionally when people start getting tired. But if you just try to go out there, why don't you see people jabbing? Because it's too big of a window. There's too much stuff that can come in. You know, for example, you get teeped, but you can also get the big weapon across the ribs for that. But what were you going to say?
That's Ali Frazier. That example.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. Now, here we go. The worst situation if you're shorter, weaker. Now, if you're fighting a shorter, weaker. Now, right now I'm talking about fighting, and I'll talk about if you're in this situation. You fight a shorter, weaker. What you want to do is what do you want to do? You know, you just want to crush them. you know, and you want to eliminate this. You know, you don't put up with them moving. You just want to get them. Like, okay, John Saylor is his only hope. You know, he thinks that everyone's shorter and weaker. So that's what he's hoping for. You know. So how does that bag want to fight? You see him. He always wants to sneak up, and well, you're not going to sneak up when you're doing this, but he wants to limit your defensive. You have no defensive space, right? You know, this is why he tries to attack me. He thinks I'm weaker than he is. It's never happened that way, but he. But he tries to attack me in places like phone booths. There's a few left still, and elevators, and the cars, which he's broken his own car in half. The seats that have actually snapped. They have. Then he gets angry because he's, you know. Anyway, but But it's true. So this is his game plan. Like, I don't know. He's a simpleton. You know, the guy doesn't have a lot of gray matter to work with. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to lure him out into an open space, and he's done. You know, he just gets angry. I'm using him because you guys all know him. You know, I mean, we could use examples from boxing of the same thing. But being shorter, weaker, you just crush them. You don't. There's no reason for you. You can take their punches or their kicks or whatever. No regard. You know.
That would be like George Foreman in his prime. Everybody was
Yeah.
shot and he just killed.
Yeah. Very good. Like he destroyed Norton.
Yeah.
And even Frazier.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think they were ever the same after they fought him.
No.
You know. I mean.
No, Frazier still had something with Ali.
Yeah, but I don't think. I mean, he really.
Yeah.
I mean, Foreman really just hurt people. Seriously, no, he really seriously hurt people other than Ali. Okay, now that's if you're fighting guys like this. Now, if the other, and you'll find yourself in one of these positions, because if you're fighting a longer, stronger guy, that means you're shorter, weaker. Okay, if you're fighting a longer, weaker, that means you're shorter, stronger. You understand how this correlates? This is a very good thing to write down and keep in mind. Because you're going to be in one of these. You're going to face someone that fits into one of these 4 categories, or even, which is very rare. Now, if you fight even, you can do whatever style you feel the best with, which is like I was telling you guys yesterday. That I started out. Most of my fights are light heavyweight. I fought at super middleweight. Now I'm heavyweight. So what I found. I was longer, weaker. That was my style. So I used one hell of a lot of movement, but I did have really hard low kicks, So, but I did a lot of movement. Longer, weaker is a type of guy you try to wear people down, too. That's one of the things. If you're shorter, weaker, like women are in this category a lot, your only hope really is what? What would you say, John? Voice from the dead. What would be, in your illustrious opinion, let's see if you can get it right. If you're shorter, weaker than the person you're fighting, what would be your only hope of winning? Do you think?
Superior position. I would attempt to take the side or back of my opponent.
No. I'm talking more strategy than just actual movement or what you do.
Hope you could survive the initial onslaught.
Well, that you're on the road there.
Hope the initial onslaught.
It'd be if you're shorter, weaker than a guy, your biggest weapon would be if you have massive endurance.
Yeah,
Massive endurance, so that you can wait till they wear down, so that now you're no longer the shorter, weaker, you're the shorter, stronger.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that takes you got to be in shape.
Yeah.
If you're in this category. All right, but so most of the time, when I was a middleweight, super middleweight, and a light heavyweight, and in boxing, this is how I fought. Now, since I've come up and I'm a heavyweight, I've become this. I've become longer, stronger, or I've become shorter, stronger, in relationship with my ability to hit. So my whole thing has changed. My whole thing is what I spent a long time doing. I don't fight that way. For me to win, I have to fight a different way. I have to fight more cut than just boom, anyway. But this is a huge key. You see, this is a gigantic map now that you've got. Okay, yeah, you're learning how to punch and kick, and that's what we're doing. Get some new tools, new weapon, and get a weapon. But it doesn't going to do you any help. You got a car, you can't drive anywhere because you have no map. Now you have a map, so now you can drive your body. It's a great analogy, really. That you can drive your body to somewhere because the person you face is going to be in one of these 4 categories. And that they're going to be they're going to be in one of these positions. That's why I call this. You could call it something else, but positions. That's why I say positional fighting. It's not my name. This is not my theory. This is not my. It's not my. Other people have done this. It's been around for since the 70s, actually. But most people don't know this, or most people don't. Let's simplify what you're going to face, how you're going to do it. So now you have an overarching principle to work with here. Because if you face someone, they're always going to be longer, stronger, longer, weaker, shorter, stronger, shorter, weaker. So now, and then if you know, that I didn't go into each individual, okay, exactly what you do. I covered some things, but there's, exactly some things you should do. Shorter, stronger, you've got to get inside, and you're going to be doing hooks and uppercuts and knees and elbows. Okay? Now, longer, weaker, you also throw in knees, keep them off you. And Simi is not longer, weaker, but he does, he fights like this a lot in K1, even though he's actually longer, stronger in a lot of cases. He fights longer, weaker. You know what I'm saying? Because he won't close really. He'll just, you know what I'm saying? He will stay.
Yeah, he's comfortable with
Yeah.
his length, and he doesn't bother
yeah.
anything else.
Yeah. So he doesn't really come in. But anyway, that's why I'm saying you will find that you'll fight one of these ways because you've spent more time doing it. So I feel the most comfortable, even though now I'm longer, stronger, or shorter, stronger. I fight. I want to fight, and I'm better at fighting longer, weaker, because I spent so much time in it, and I fought world level at that deal. I haven't fought like the best guys in the world while I'm longer, stronger, and shorter, stronger, but I did fight the best guys in the world when I was longer, weaker. So, kind of got this weirdness going on with my styles, but that gives me a good ability to teach other people because I then just fight one style. And I went through a lot of different weight categories, so that gives me actual experience, which is crucial to teaching other people. Because if you don't, like I talked about the Thais, they don't know anything because all they do is think everyone is supposed to be like them, about his size, So, it's good for him if he went to Thailand. It's all right, better, But I'm there. They don't know what to do with me. Josh goes, they're going to be killing him too, with the training because it's not. He's a different thing, you know what I'm saying? Different way to fight. But anyway, while I'm over here talking about this, is talk about the mystique of the Thais in the United States is, they're incredible. They everyone thinks low kick. Well, the point system changed in the 80s. They started changing the point system. Before, there used to be more oriented kicking and punching. Like I said to everybody yesterday, low kicks don't count for points now. And punches don't count. You knock the guy out, okay, fine. So they've gone to this way of dominating their point system, which is the mid kick. They mid kick like crazy because that's a point. Even if you block it, it's a point for the guy that kicks. So that's why you see G. All right. Well, originally, here we go. Originally, what it's called Muay Thai. Everyone thinks, Muay Thai. Well, Muay Thai is just a name for boxing in Thailand. The whole region, Burma, Laos, Cambodia, had fighting. In fact, the Khmer, Cambodia, is a much older empire than anybody else in the region. And they have, you can see, they have carvings and stuff that go way back before the Thais had it. And it was stolen or came from Cambodia. And in Cambodia, there's names for it, Praiset. Anyway, during the communist takeover of the Khmer Rouge, killed everybody. Killing Fields is a movie that shows some of the stuff that went on. It's disgusting, really. They killed everybody, students, teachers, anybody that knew anything, because they wanted everyone to be a farmer and grow crops 14 hours a day. That was your whole thing. If you complained, they'd kill you. And I'm just serious. They wiped out. It was insane what happened there. Because it used to be a French colony. They had hospitals there. They had universities there. Anyway, they wiped this all out. They killed people who were trainers, who were fighters. They tried to get rid of all this. So during this period of time, which is starts back in the 60s and the 70s, or the 70s actually, when the wars start in Cambodia, the Thais start developing their national sport, which is Muay Thai, and they start kind of propaganda for the entire world, right? So it's gone. Then at the end, when the Khmer Rouge are out, and the Vietnamese are coming in and taking over and trying to exploit the place, and Thailand's also exploited. Vietnam and Thailand both exploiting Cambodia right now as we speak, and they have been for a long time. But anyway, so they start the sport back up, but they got a lot of people dead that were trying. They don't have a lot of people that made it through. They got some that made it through. So they don't have all the time in that the Thais had this entire time, where they're, for 30 years, they're developing, and the Thais integrated Western boxing somewhat. They're not the greatest still, but they started integrating Western boxing because of the Dutch. And I'll get all these tangents are important, but So I'll stick with this one right now, the Cambodians. And the Cambodians, okay, so we can't beat them finessing them. Their point system is, you know, Thais will kill you if they can, but they're happy to they beat you with a point system because they know it inside and out. And to us in the West, we don't fight like that. We don't fight like that type of that system. The Japanese don't fight like that. The Dutch don't fight like that. So the Khmer said, okay, we're not going to beat them technically. We're going to beat them with brutality. So what they've done is they've gone to having weapons. Like I said, they're big weapons. They're low kick and elbows. 200 elbows a round. Some of these guys have fought technical guys that are superior to them technically and just ruined their careers because they've sliced them open there's one guy in Cambodia right now that's broken like 9 guys' legs. Just because they're out there to hurt somebody. They're not trying to win. They know we cannot win on points because we haven't had enough time to become technically. We'll become more brutal, and they are. The people are scared shitless of them right now. I mean, you know what I mean? Because they are out there, and I said, well, what whack? You know, I mean, it's a crack, and you know, and 200. I'm not lying. You know, they don't punch. A lot of them. It's just whack, 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 and you know. And if you get caught, and I'm telling you, like I was talking about the power thing, you step off the curb and you get hit by a truck. I don't care what you thought you had. You got nothing. You know, and the same thing. You're getting hit with a guy when you get hit 20 or 30 elbows. You're just, you know, you're not the same person ever. Let alone that sets you up to getting knees, and then they're not playing the point game because the Thais are easy to kick in the leg. That's what I do. I kick them in the leg now because they're not used to fighting people because there's no points in it. There's no points in it, so you got to hurt them. But if you can get it and start hurting them, then you know a win's a win. But you got guys. I mean, this is the thing. You know, in Cambodia. It's a science. We're brutal fighters. This is our way to beat these guys. And in Thailand, so they want to have these games with other. They want to have not games, but they want to have competitions with the Muay Thai. Cambodia said, okay, but let's call it Golden Land Boxing. Well, it translates to that because the whole region, everybody considers the Golden Land or something, you know. And no, we want to call it Muay Thai. And they said no because it's from us originally. And it's also in Laos, and it's also in Burma, and you know that's a racist thing to try to do. But this is Asia, where everybody's a racist, and everybody, you know, we're superior to everybody thinks they're superior to someone else. They're my lackey boy, scumbag. You know what I mean? No, this is how they think. I'm just being honest. Go there and you'll see. Spend time there like I have. And so they said no. You know, we don't accept it. Change the name. And you know, Laos said, yeah, change the name. No, it's Muay Thai. We don't. No, it's our. Yeah, it came from Cambodia. The Cambodians are getting angry, so they said, no, we're not gonna. We will not field the national team. Laos said, no. You know, if you're going to keep the name Muay Thai, it's a slap in the face. The rest of us who also had and Cambodia had it before you did. So you know, you can't take it and say, oh, it's mine now, and not say well, it didn't exist anywhere else. And you know why? Well, I don't know what the big deal is. You go, well, I know, because Thais think they're superior to everybody. They think they're, you know, they think Lao are scum. They think Khmer are scum. You know, it's just one of these things. We're superior, you know. And anyway, so that's why there's no national teams fighting against that. You get like some, you know, Canada and U.S. have an amateur team that goes to Thailand. Oh, please, you know what I mean? You know. It's not, anyway, so that's a little bit about that. Now, why the Thais evolved, I'll get why the Thais evolved a little bit, is because major influence from the Dutch. And two guys in particular, Rob Common, one, and Ramon Dekkers, the other one. Rob Common and Ramon Dekkers and their trainers are responsible for what is now the Dutch system. The Dutch system introduced many things. One thing, boxing that was far better than what the Thais were doing. The Thais were doing some wild stuff, you know. If you look at Ramon Dekkers, he's showing like 8 or 9 just whacking hard punches, and then mixed with the kicks in there. Their thing that we're going to do today, we're going to do part of it, is why they're successful and why they're the best. Some guys that went to Thailand, Tom Harnick, who was with Cherokee, was his place. And it's produced originally people like Peter Arts and Jan Plas, Johan Vos. Johan Vos has his own gym, the Vos Gym, where Ernesto Host used to be. Remy Bojanski is there now. Just, you know, these are all guys that are K1 champions. And Majiro Gym is where Plas was originally, and then he went to Vos. Majiro Gym is where Kamen came from, although Kamen did live in Thailand for a while because he had problems. I'm not going to get into the whole scene in Europe in the 80s. Everybody was a criminal who was a fighter. So a lot of them were in jail, out of jail, and kicked out of place, couldn't do it anyway. Guy was supposed to fight in Holland, Oosterbaan, had spent a lot of time in prison. You know? But anyway, that was the scene. And then the Mafia, there's a lot of stuff you can read. There's like a lot of sick stuff went on. They cut off this one guy's legs while he was alive and stuck him in cement and stuff. And yeah, I'll tell you guys about that later. But anyway, so what they did was they realized, Kamen realized, we can't beat Thais fighting like a Thai. So the same thing the Cambodians are saying now. We can't beat you fighting like a Thai, so we'll fight you a different way. And his way was to have great combinations with hands and then legs, boom, boom, boom. Not Thais fight 100% kick, whack, whack, but everything's a one, if you know what I mean. Everything's a one. It's a pa, pa, whack, whack. There's not really combinations. You know, it's not do-do-do-do-do, whack, which is how boxing is and how the Dutch and the Japanese do things. It's, you know, da-da-da, wham, you know, or da-da-da, wham. It's always whack, whack, whack. Now that type of fighting takes a lot more energy to do. That's one of the reasons why they say, oh, that's why the training is so hard, for one thing, because it's 100% on everything. And you can fight like that, it's very difficult. You got to be 10 times the shape of setting things up. Now, and for light guys, they do it because of the weight. Because light guys, their chance to knock someone out, they got to throw it 100%. You know, I mean, it's got to be, wow, so they hold. And lighter guys are going to throw more than heavier guys. It's just the way it is, because the energy, as we go up in weight, we're using more energy to move. So light guys have to throw things at 100% to knock someone out. And light guys, you don't see a guy really knocking somebody out with one punch. If he gets 5 or 10 off, yeah. But as you go up in weight, you see heavyweights, boom, end of story. You see it, you know, one kick into the game. So you're more cautious, which the Thais read as, oh, you're scared. No, I'm going to get a freight train if I make an error. You know, I can't make an error at this weight. We can't, because if I make an error and I get hit, that could be the end. Whereas if you're light, you could make an error and get hit once. You know what I'm saying? That same thing as you go up in weight, that's the end. So there's a little overview of the whole thing, and a lot of things people here don't know in this country because they haven't. A lot of people don't know in a lot of places in the world because they haven't gone. They haven't been in they haven't been in Holland. They haven't been in Thailand. They haven't been in Cambodia. So here's, you know, you got a wealth of information here about the history. The history will help you understand why they're doing, why you fight like the way you fight, and why I'm saying this fight this way, which is the brutal Khmer way. You know, you guys, it didn't start young enough, and you're not doing it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So let's go the brutal way, which also pays off in actual fighting. So let's go that way with the Dutch logical, scientific, sequential type of fighting they use with every K1 champion has come from Holland, a place of 16 million people. How is that possible? It's their system, you know? Not one has come from this country with 300 million people. It's a system, you know? It's like, it's the system. So you'd be smart to replicate their system, right? So we're going to do some things like that. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead and get the whole thing in it. End up with that, okay? You see that?
Yeah, get the whole idea.
You see the speed now he's getting to? You know? You don't think he's going to knock somebody out if that lands? If that goes to the head? Do you feel that? Do you feel when you end up? Do you see how much faster you get when you know? When you end up like that, the kick is a lot faster. You can think. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
You can throw in your arm.
Yeah, you have to when you start whipping it. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, on southpaw, I'm not going to do the kick, but I'm not going to do the kick, but I want you to think, put the shoulder over here. So, okay? Because when you take a step, you see how? That's where the super speed comes from, okay? So put your shoulder over there, all right? That, now you namby-pambies should be, you know? Because I want to see a weapon development here. Because when you see it, you feel, you're like, holy shit. Because you thought you were kicking, you were karate kicking. You know? That doesn't work in my world. You know? It doesn't, you know? Because I'm serious, you got a weapon. You can guys start to see. I can get the kid in 2 weeks. I'll get knocking you guys out. You know?
I don't mind. Bam! Bob, I'm talking about you.
Bam! Butch, you didn't train blam, you know? Because it's going to be a faster kick than you guys think. And it's the one part kick too. You know? So somebody will be coming up, they'll be trying to wow, you know? So I'm just saying, I know. So be scared. Don't try to kick. Don't try to force yourself to kick harder. Just get the shoulder over, okay? You will kick harder just from the shoulder coming over, okay? Now, because everyone's concentrating too hard on trying to kick hard. You will kick harder if you get your shoulder over. So everyone just do the kick, but don't try to make it hard. Just get your shoulder over, right? Okay? Don't concentrate on kicking hard. Concentrate on getting your shoulder over.
So is he not able to turn his shoulder?
Well, he's in and up. It's the karate training.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, because you're in and up in front of the guy because you're used to kicking in the air, so you want the balance. But there's no power in that. So yeah, you gotta wherever the hip is at is where the power is at. You know what I mean? Because actually, if you're kicking here and you keep it here, the power's gonna be over here. Okay, but as you come around, then the power starts going.
So
over
how do you get him to stop?
It's a lot of training. It's gonna be a lot of time.
He's here, and then he can winds up.
Yeah, that's gonna. He has to concentrate. He has to concentrate on breaking, stepping, kicking. You know, that's what I was saying. You know, that's why you think of getting his shoulder. Think the rear shoulder is gonna come. Okay, you're putting the shoulder over there. Because when I do that, that leg's gotta go.
Okay. There you go.
Wow. Now I'm going to talk about low kicks, targets, and how to do low kicks, and all the joy and beauty that there is in the low kick world. And I think I told you guys, but some of you before, where we want to aim basically is about halfway between. There are other targets, I'll cover that too, but one of the ones that you'll get the nerve quite a bit is if I go halfway between the knee and the hip, which is about here. So one of the targets is if I'm here, I'm going to, okay. Now, a slightly different kick than coming around. There's several different low kicks. And I'm going to cover that right now. This one is a hard one to get away with. It's sneaky. It's Mark, remember when we were covering, I was doing this, this is this kick. Yeah, this is this kick here. So I'm using my front leg because of the way we stand right now, because I'm going on the outside. I will go on the inside in a little bit, but right now the way I stand, you guys do this way. So anyway, the way I'm standing, I'm using the front leg. I'm going to put my leg, I'll just show you. I'm going to go here. Okay. This, even with, and these are really good shin pads too, by the way. These are really good as opposed to the crap.
Yeah, these ones here.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking about, the little, the little white ones or whatever. Yeah, those ones don't do anything. Yeah, but anyway, so we will do stuff like, okay, we're going to get in this, I'm jumping kind of around, because I can't show you this without showing you something else right now. So if I'm here, and we're doing all this stuff, right, boom, whoop, this is landing, believe me. And he gets, I won't do it hard, but he gets 4 or 5 of these. and he's going to have problems.
Yeah.
Okay? This is one. This is one. We'll work on this low kick first. Then we're going to do a Dutch low kick. Then we're going to do a Dutch one, another one, Dutch one. Then I'm going to show you some other stuff. And I'll show you things. We're using the shin right now, okay? Using the shin. And I'm coming across. See, this kick is fast because I'm not coming out around a lot. I'm coming in. Yeah. My knees, just like we were doing.
Yeah.
Okay? There. Okay?
Very.
I can do the same thing with this leg and go out. For me, it's safer because I'm outside your right hand. You can't hit me. So here, boom, 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 boom. This is a very big combination, actually. Okay, but you guys are mostly, even the southpaws do what I'm doing here. But everyone else, just do it.
Just do it from the back.
Yeah, do it from here.
And stay very.
Yeah, and you got to flip your hip over to do this kick. There you go. Everyone just did it all in unison there. So get the shin pads on, and you guys can go back and forth with this one right now. Use your left leg there. No, okay. Yeah, but don't come around. Don't come around. This one's more. It is. It's just shin, okay?
I feel like I got a peg leg on now.
You can't get away from it. Because you're here. You're here. Boom, boom. I do this. Boom. It's already there. I'm not doing it hard at all. I'm landing. Okay. You're here. I'm landing. This is, yeah, you guys are getting tapped by me, and you're crying. I'm not trying to kick you hard. I got shin pads. I don't want to see you guys in the ring. Jesus Christ.
I'm coming straight in. This one doesn't fit.
Okay, think knee. Okay, so I throw the knee.
Yeah.
Okay, it's that tight. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's hard to accept.
Okay, it's not coming out. As I'm saying, kick. Everybody thinks circular. I'm not doing that. I'm here. Pow, pow, pow.
Yep.
Then,
Yeah.
Okay. But do you understand that it's
Tight.
totally.
Yeah.
Tight in the box.
Okay.
Yeah.
So think knee first. That will help. That's
Do what you were doing.
Think knee. Think knee.
As soon as you think knee, that's
No, you're not thinking knee. You're thinking Jesus. I'm throwing it out. Because if you're gonna knee kick, that's a knee. So, but if I go,
no, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It can be fever for sure. That's a quick move, man. That makes it a lot quicker.
but he'll tell you. Okay, see, example. I just did it to Ken, so I'll do it to Alex. See, if I'm here and actually I was doing stuff and I did this and
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I threw the knee. I threw the knee once, right?
Yeah.
Now I got your leg, okay? But it's the same.
Yeah.
They should be faked out by that. And then after they fake out from that, do that, you drop flat, okay? All right, but it's the same. This is the same motion.
That's the same motion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tight. You can do it tight too, but it's better you got a little distance.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop the circular out. Okay. I'm not trying to kick. I'm not trying to kick hard or anything, but I'm just doing the.
They're going to practice on the back.
Because if you really get going, and that's the shit out of it. So. moving around, come walking up, you know. You know.
This don't make a lot of difference.
That does not miss.
I got a shin pad too. You know?
How many more can he string together?
The first two, you're like, I'm seriously going to.
That's good.
I like
Man,
that. I like that. Tell me that's good. There. That was one.
Better?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're hardly going outside your shop.
There we go.
Coming up straight.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's power. Yeah, there we go.
You can feel it through here.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
There. I wanted to say something about that low kick first. That low kick is more painful here than it is here. If you watch Rob Common fight, he was really good. Not on just that kick, he could also make it come circular around from way out here and come in straight on the guy's legs. He made guys throw up because it hits that nerve so hard. It's just like a reaction to getting, you know, it's here when people, you know, you get kicked here, you get kind of used to the shock. But yeah, eventually, I mean, eventually you're going to go down from this. You'll go down, and it hurts, still hurts. But this one is just so much more painful. I mean, you could begin. Some of you guys could, you know, like, ooh, you know, you haven't been kicked a lot in the legs for one thing, but this is much more painful. So I just want to go through that, cover that. That if you can get this, this is where you want to get it, okay? Because you want to try to force, as they say in Holland, you want to force your bone to his bone. You want to push the muscle, you want to separate the muscle. Those are low kicks that hurt, and that's how they think in Holland. You know, they don't want to do any of this little. MMA guys are doing that. MMA guys, why? Because they don't want to risk getting taken down, and they don't know how to kick. Okay. Now, I will, cases. I'll cover this. You can't kick with the instep on the. You'll see guys in K1 doing that. Okay, why are they doing that? Because with the instep, what happens? Because it makes a big sound too when you've heard it like smack. It's more of a smack sound. What happens? It turns the leg black and blue from the instep. The shin just goes to the nerve and just hurts more. But you'll see like this. You know, I don't actually kick like that. I kick with the shin a lot more. You'll see guys landing with the instep because you start turning black and blue because it's a different bang. It makes a bigger sound. People think, ooh, it's a lot harder. It's because that makes a sound, whereas this is like a thud, you know. And this one, but it's going in. That's some of the differences. So there are times you can use your instep, but John's laughing because he likes to see Alex say his name. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so be aware of that. Okay. That you can do that, you know, but it's a longer term thing. I've got to kick him more times, but it starts turning black and blue from the instep. From the shin, you might see red, but they're the one. You see them when they try to walk. It's you know you can't fake it at a certain point. You cannot fake it. I fought a guy who was like nailing me on my rear leg with the right across here. I had like 8 of those. I'm like, oh man, you know. I'm like, this hurts so bad. It's like, you know, I'm about to go down, even though I don't want to go down, just because it's at the end of my nerve control for my leg, you know. That was good, you bastard. But so anyway, now we're going to go to one of the reasons why the Dutch are so good, and this is the Dutch numbering system. There are several different numbering systems now. Like Boss Rutten has leaked a little bit about this, but that's not the only numbering system. We're going to use one type of numbering system that's pretty common, but we're going to do it in a different way. In Holland, there's a lot of different ways. In the Netherlands, there's a lot of different ways to do the numbers and how they follow. But we're going to start out like this. So I'm southpaw. So 1 when I say one or the holder, I'll be saying it to everybody. Everyone will be doing this. But right now, the holder, the pad holder, is the guy who's the trainer. So if he says one, I do the jab. If he says two, I go, okay. If he says three, if he says four, okay, and he might just say one. Now, so we're going to be doing that. So he says one. It says two. Okay, it says three. The holder's going to be. So he does three because three is a really good combination that we're going to be using a lot because it sets up for what's going to happen. So this is going to be three again. So it goes three. Now, what we're going to do. That's what we're going to be doing. That's the numbers. We're going to only be punching. Now, when he says follow, then the kick comes. So if we do one, he says one, follow. It's going to be one here, then okay. It's going to be in there. Okay. So if he says two, and follow, and then okay. It's going to be. You're going to do Dutch way is the hand that ends opposite leg. So if I end with this hand, this leg. If I end with this hand, this leg. Thai way is always to use the weapon leg. They rarely use the other leg. So that's a difference. But let's do the Dutch way right now. Okay. So once again, so if he says one, then it says one follow. Okay. Or if it says three is a really good combination. So it's one that works a lot. So if he says three follows, then it's going to be okay. And we're in here tight. So one guy get the pads, one guy get the gloves on. You don't need shin pads really, I just got them on. And I will call. Right now we're only going to do punching and then we'll do follow. Okay, but this is a good way. You got a good training device right here. Okay. One, two, holy. One, two, three. Good, Ken. Good. Three. Four. Some of you are already fading on me. Okay, four. Hey, four. No, not overhand. No, that was a personal thing. Three. Two. Three. Good, Mike. Good. Three. Four. I hate this. One. Two. Three. Stop. Okay, this time I will do what we just did, but then I will also say follow. I'm not going to say it every time, but I'm going to say follow. So remember that it's only mid-kick. That's why we're only kicking mid-kicks. See guys getting knocked out in here. Guaranteed. There are guys when you get to be really, really good, and they're really good pad holders, will just say, do whatever you want to do, and they'll catch it. Boom, 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 here, boom, high. They won't go low, but you know what I'm saying? But they'll because their job is to read where it's going to go. That's when you get jobs doing this as a pad holder. If that's if you want to, But that's what makes somebody incredibly much better because you only get as good as the training environment that you're in. So I'm telling you right from the beginning, be a really good pad holder is going to elevate your guys that you work with. Being a crappy one doesn't do anything. It makes goes downhill. Anyway, okay, so let's get ready. So. You know what's happening here, everybody. So here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay, 1 follow. Alex. Okay, here we go. Everybody get ready. Get ready. One, follow. I heard a good one somewhere. Two. Two. Three. Three, follow. Oh, sorry. It's opposite leg. Opposite leg.
Three.
No, that's not three. It's 1, 2, 3. He was correct. It's not 1, 2, 3. 3 is the lead hook. It's 1, 2, 3. If you're left-handed, if you're doing this 1, 2, 3, this leg.
I was right.
I got kicked for it.
Okay.
He went the wrong way.
Okay. It's 1, 2. If you're facing this way, if you're facing this way, it's not. You know what I'm saying? If you're southpaw, yeah, there you go. That's correct. But if you're, I'm saying, yeah, that's correct. So, wake up, Jeff. All right, here we go. You're gonna waste some time. 1. You gotta learn how to be a good paddler. Okay, know what to kick. 1, follow. We're gonna do this to the number. 1, follow. 1, follow. 2. 2, follow. Yeah, Mark, like I knocked out over here.
So don't just kill it.
Okay, here we go. Goodbye. Figure it out while you're doing it, basically. 2, follow. 2, follow. 1, follow. 1, follow. 1, follow. 3, follow. There you go. There you go. 3, follow. Good. Good. This is a very important combination. This combination works and it's very, very good. Okay. Here we go. Keep going. 4. 4. 4, follow. Yeah, there we go. 4, follow. Let's get these guys. Some guys, people are too slow with everything. Come on, it's supposed to be hard. Let's go. 2. Good. 2. 2, follow. 2, follow. 1, follow. 1, follow. 3. 3, follow. 3, follow. We're talking. 2, follow. Okay, stop. That's what I'm saying. John, Alex, and I all of us are talking about the fact that you do it, what you've been training, and you got to drill it. This is what we're talking about, upping your game, and you're not going to do it by not concentrating and not drilling. This is drills. Like what I just showed is a big, gigantic step forward and getting better. It's hard too. Also, doing rounds like that, do 2 rounds to begin with, you know, and then that's enough. If you're really getting pushed by the guy, the pad holder telling you numbers, then you're better off because we're going to add some stuff in here. Now, all right, there's many different ways to go with this. Just a million things. You're not going to. I know far more than I can cover in 2 days, and you can't learn it all. You can't get. Nobody's got the weapon kick perfect yet. That's that's to be expected though. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm saying it's developmental. You have to develop these skills that you develop here to go on. All right. So here, let's talk about the MMA knee and what goes and why it's not working with a lot of people. What happens is, the bag's a good demonstration because what happens, a lot of guys are throwing knees, and they're throwing knees, and it's going up like that, or grazing, just like I just did there. They're grazing, okay? If the guy's completely bent over, that'll work. But if he's not completely bent over, then the knee doesn't have much power in it because the guys you see guys taking 2 or 3 knees in MMA fights and then nothing's happening. I guarantee you, you won't see that and you won't guys who really know how to knee. You knee completely at my weight and you catch somebody clean like they are in some MMA fights, they're going to drop. They're going to go down. There's no way that they can't. And it helps using tie pants quite a bit. Now, once again, this is a holder thing. Yeah, we can do this way. Alex has got the pads right now. Is okay. And I don't even need the gloves right now. We'll put it in. But we're going to do this from the distance one first. Now, what happens is that the knee needs to go up and in. And it's going to be very difficult. I'm using the right leg right now. It's very difficult for many people to do this because they're not used to it. You're going to come up on your toes at the very last part because that puts even more. It's a little bit more leverage at the very end. This is why when you see MMA guys, they're flat and their knee comes up just like that. It's not coming out and in. So if he's yeah, it's like that. Yeah. So if I'm coming up, you see how he's going backwards? This is why I'm not locking up right now because you can tell by my, then here, it's going into him. You see this? You can tell by my not clinching with him that if I'm getting effect, see you're doing all this stuff, or stop and stuff, boom, 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 boom. Do you think that's not gonna drop you without the top pads there? It's because that's straight right into the thing, boom, boom. And I'm not warmed up. The warmer I get, the better my knee's gonna become. So, but you see how I'm coming up and pushing out? That's a it's the same thing. You relax, boom, boom. Think that's not gonna. That's different than going straight up. It's going into the guy. Now, once again, on the bag, it's going to take you longer to learn than will on the Thai pads. So that's why one guy gets Thai pads, and the other guy's going to knee. Okay. The secret to doing it correctly is the hip thrusting out again. Same thing we do with the low kick. Okay. All right. So let's go to it. Just like we're doing this, by holding in the same position, you should be able. You see? You see that? Get down. You see that? I'm not falling into that. I'm not falling into it. I'm able to. I'm down. Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm paying attention to what you're really doing.
Blah blah blah. Yeah. You okay? Mm-hmm. You think?
That's powerful. I'm telling you, that's really powerful.
Okay, but control your body is what I'm getting. Don't.
Okay. Yeah. Drive it forward. Keep the control. Drive it forward.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
I'll do one more set of 20. I'll do 40 and then you do 70. So, yeah.
Drive it through. Come on, look at toes. Drive it through. There it was. That. See the difference? See the difference? Come up on the toes at the very end. There. You see the difference that makes? You see that? That's a little different. That puts
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I like is you keep it balanced too, so you can do it and not just rely on the body.
That's the problem with clinch. A lot of bad habits.
I can do it, and it's still not.
If you do it here, you can do it without pretty much clinch. Yeah. Come up. At the very end. Okay. Try not to fall into them. Do it with the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, come up. At the very end, come up with the toes. Push. There. That puts an extra push into him. That little bit puts more. That's what breaks the sternum.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah. You feel it, huh?
Come on up on the toes. We're going to add in here, this is what's important, to add the sin. So he's you got his back, right? So we're going to do this, the numbers again. So if it's 1, I'm going to go 1. Now it could be 1 then follow, which is this. But I'm also going to say 1 knee. So yeah, okay. So you got to be ready for that. So anytime. So it could be 1, 1, 1 follow. You know, then it could be 1, and then it could be knee. I could say knee after the. All right. So 1, 1 knee. Get the pads there, people. Okay, 1, 2, 2 knee. Better, 2 knee. Get the hands, protect the face though. 2 knee. 3. 3 follow.
No, that's wrong.
3 follow. 2 knee. Good. 1. 1. Check your distance from the pad holder. Most of you are too close. You're not going to fight that close. You're going to get ripped apart with knees and elbows. You're too close to be punching. Some of you, not all of you. Check your distance. This is what this is all about. That's why we're using tie pads. Check your distance. All right? All right. Okay. 1. 1 knee. Okay? Pretty good, Ken. Pretty good. 1. 2. 2. 2 follow. Okay, 2. 3. 3 knee. All right, come on, let's go. 2. 2 knee. Good, better. 2 knee. 2 knee. 1. 1 follow. My fault. Good. 1 follow. 1 follow. Good, better. Smack the kick. I know you guys are already tired, but smack the kick. Okay, 1 follow. Weak. It better be harder. It's too weak. 1 follow. 1 follow. 2. 2. Last punch, better be hard. Good. Get over there. 2. 2 knee. Good. Good. 2 knee. Good. 1. 1. 1. 1 follow. Good. 1 follow. Good. 1 knee. Good. Good. 1 knee. Better. Better. 1 knee. Okay, here we go. 2. 3. 1 follow. Knee. 1 follow. Knee. Okay, good. 2. Keep going. 2. 3. 3. 3. 3. Okay, stop. Knee. 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 1. 1. 1. Knee. 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 Okay, time. Yeah. I got you guys where you couldn't think anymore. I got you to the level you couldn't look anymore. Yeah. But my point, why I'm doing it, is I cannot let you think. I got to drive you like you guys saw. You at the end, you just, what is it? I don't care. I'm just going to be a gig. I don't care. He's going to say something. What is it? I hope it's a 1. No, I hope it's a 1. I know how you guys think. It's the same thing, I know. There are other ones that we just do kick, 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 and I'm like, I wish you'd tell me to punch. You know what I mean? I've been there, you know? And I do 1 through 10, where you do 1. He says 1. We're just doing kicks. He says 1. Kick this leg. Then I kick this leg 1. Then he says 2. 2 times here, 2 times here, all the way up to 10. Down. And you're just like, please tell me to punch. You know what I mean? I just want to punch. You know what I mean?
just one.
Yeah, you know, exactly. You know, I'm dying. I would just let me jam, you know. I've been there.
Yeah.
So but now I get to say when I'm doing it in the trainer mode, I like it to see you guys are paying. Alex, well, this is a little different because I want Alex to be sort of like here. Okay. Okay. Now here's a little trick that it works really well, and it's elbows. And here's the thing where if he's trying to come in, it's what happens in Thailand. These guys will come in and clinch you. Or guys try to clinch you for MMA or whatever. John Seto tried to do something to me. I did this. I didn't actually do the strike, but I did this same motion, got him off me. And that's that. If I throw an up elbow, there's a chance I can miss, and he's still going to be on me. If I throw the horizontal one, I could end up like this, and then he's on me. So what do? I throw this oblique. So if he's trying to come in on me, and I just did the John, and what I did was he's trying to grab me, and so I just did this, and then got free. But the point being is that if he tries to come in on me, it's here. So if you're trying to come in, come on, you got to kill. So you got to be, or the other side. This will stop the guy from trying to, because if I throw in this, he can't come in slow. You see this? If I go here, I can miss once again. If I try here, and he delays himself, then he can give me. But if I go here, see, I'm still blocked. So anyway, okay, pads and one guy elbows. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. You're here, okay? Cool. Just this, because then I got. Oh yeah, so you can do that. It's no big deal. You guys can make it hard enough. Yeah, just you want to come in? Whichever way. Here we go. Here. Yeah, the pads are kind of weird. Yeah, it's
just overloaded right
now. That's it right there. But okay, here's the deal. It's just here. You're not going way around. Okay. That's it, right there, Alex. Here's, boom. What comes next? Come on, the other elbow. Oh, okay. Yeah, if I got, here's what comes. Okay, here's what happens. Okay, so he's just trying to come out. I'm just like, yeah, that's enough. This is what the Khmer are going to kill you.
So I think that's why.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but see if you can try to go. This is already hit.
He's not going to stay off and on. And I told the judge for people because I'm switching later.
It's just a quick move.
Well, yeah.
It's almost just like defending yourself.
Yeah. I'm constantly.
I like that.
Start working elbows. See, people in the United States don't fight with elbows. That's a lot of stuff. that's a lot to work on. It's a lot of fun, a lot of good things, skills, stuff that works. Positional fighting, the weapon, practice that, the Dutch drills. You understand why certain people fight like they do, what the point system is in Thailand. You understand about combinations. That's just how you beat somebody is with combinations. You know how you understand how to do combinations now with on the Thai pads. You know a little bit about using elbows. We can't get into that. You know a little bit about the knee now. Doing the knee, putting it into Thai pad numbering system. And foot movement, that's a big key. The step is everything for the power. And there's many things to work on still. And then we can go on, which is good. That's the whole point. It's developmental. You never reach perfection. I haven't reached perfection in it. And there's some things I do better than other things that I do. And that's the key. I also know how it should be with some things that maybe that I'm not doing correctly. But you got to start here, and you got to keep doing it, and you drill it, and you get better and better and better, and it'll raise your game up. And for example, you found out about the lie about the two-part kick. All right, and that's it. It was a jam-packed time. It's over already, like it always is. Starts, it's over, and try to fit everything in, and it's yeah. But anyway, that's it. It was fun. Alex did some good stuff with you too. And don't forget his stuff, his drills, his warm-ups. Some of the other things he did, and that's it. Thanks everybody for coming here and doing it. Thanks Mark, for backing everything and getting it going on. And I'm glad to see some people continuing because that's the one. This is where it's for you guys that we're doing this stuff. And also, John Saylor and I are going to be trying to do more of a fighters type of seminar camp in the future, maybe. April, right now we're thinking.
End March, early
yeah,
April.
we don't know, but we'll tell you. We're looking, but more along this, but drilling this, and then also grappling and drilling grappling. Now you don't have to be a fighter to do it, but you're going to conditioning should come in a little bit of conditioning, because it's not a week long. I want to do week long stuff. We have to get you the younger guys on our vacation, but. We're going to do that because there's something, you gain something by drilling that you don't gain. There's no other way. At a certain level, you only get better by drilling. Same thing with music. You don't get any better by reading about it. You get better by practicing and drilling, whatever. It applies to this stuff. And anyway, so we're going to do that. So some of you guys, I think, are prime candidates for that, Jim. Okay. So anyway. That's what I had to say. I don't know if Alex has got. If you want to put any words in on comments on your stuff.
I just had a great time. Thanks a lot, guys. It's a really fun being with you. It's cool. I just love hearing you jags back and forth. It's a great time. Thanks a lot.